Hello, everyone. Hello, style fans. Hello, gamers. Happily ding dang doodly. It's your good pal Shinkari. I am here tonight with our featured match, for this evening. RCG Abyssal Nightmare takes on Back After Baron. And now here we are getting into picks and bans here. We already have a couple bans banned away here, a couple spicy ones for that matter as well. And we have some pretty meta ones as well. It should be noted that before we get in here, we do have one E-sub for Back After Baron here. So if you see a Hecarim ban, that is going to be their just kind of like throwaway ban that neither team was going to lock in anyway. So here we are in game number 1. We are in the Zaun bracket. This is round number 2 of the knockout stage here at Style Esports here. So both these teams are struggling for survival here. This is going to be a time to take a look at. RCG Abyssal Nightmare was recently brought down here by Royal Griffin Majesty up in the upper bracket there last week, and now they're taking on Back After Baron, who were brought here after week number 1 by Arar. Is that how you say that? It's probably how you say that. Arar here. So both these teams having to prove themselves and make sure that they can stay inside this tournament, going to be very important for them to do so here. As we can finally get into the picks here, we have some 80 carry lock-ins here pretty early on. Ezreal going to be the first lock-in for RCG Abyssal Nightmare here, and this is going to be so I can do a quick check of my notes here, do a quick double check. Yes. Okay. So this is going to be a relative comfort pick for Sunbird here. They do have some games on the Ezreal from 2022 season, but it's a little. It seems like a little few and far between. I think Ezreal is just a relatively safe lock-in. I don't think there's been a meta in a very long time that Ezreal has been bad. So it's not exactly a bad lock-in. It's not exactly. I would argue that it's maybe not first pickable here. But giving some safety to an 80 carry player in the bot lane is always, in my opinion, a good idea. It's a lane that is susceptible to a lot of ganks, and especially with how tanky a lot of junglers are nowadays. Just giving a little bit more safety to that jungler down in the 80 carry in the bot lane, definitely pretty good. It was answered by the Caitlyn Seraphine, which does have a lot of range of poke between them. Seraphine a little bit weaker in these early levels, so it's not going to have as much synergy with Caitlyn in these level 2 situations, or even level 3 for that matter. So we're just mostly going to be looking for Caitlyn and Seraphine to not look for big burst windows, but mostly going to be looking for them to just kind of do consistent damage across, and that's really good for what was locked in by Abyssal Nightmare here, because locking in the Karma means that you're not really going to be able to heal Ezreal through this consistent damage. Karma's going to have to be playing a lot more reactive, a lot more we'll have to see how good Karma's APM is in order to make sure that they can block a lot of the damage from Seraphine and Caitlyn. Also noted, we have a Jarvan and a Diana locked in for both them for the junglers here. So we have the bot lane and the jungle locked in for both teams. We're probably going to see the Hecarim ban here as the last one. I do believe that should be it. That final ban there, which is going to be the ban because they needed to use an E-sub, and if you use an E-sub, you lose a ban. So that is going to be something that that Back After Baron is going to have to deal with here. Or maybe it's for RCG Abyssal Nightmare? I'm so confused. I'm so... Alright. Odd. Okay. I could have sworn it was going to be Hecarim as the +1 ban, but regardless here, Back After Baron do have actually a pretty solid combo locked in for them here. They do have the Yasuo still available for them. The Diana Yasuo combination was nerfed a little bit like a while ago, but nothing has changed significantly enough about the two that it's still not a good. It's still a good combination. It's just not as absolutely broken as it used to be. So it's still a pretty good lock in here. Set is going to be locked in for Back After Baron, which is relatively flexible pick. It can go mid, it can go top. So I think they're just holding out for this last pick here to see if it's more safe to maybe go into this Yasuo. I don't think it's 100% a comfort pick for back after Baron here. I do have to double check my notes really quick. Wizard Pill, yeah, okay. I mean, Wizard Pill more likely plays mages and is mostly a support player, so we'll probably not see them on the Yasuo. But Yasuo's still a very powerful character to pair with the Diana for sure. RCG Abyssal Nightmare here going to get their last picks in here, their phase 2 picks one after another. Xerath is going to be the first lock-in, and Tryndamere going to get hovered by RCG Abyssal Nightmare. Now, this is a character that is incredibly volatile, so there it is going to be locked in here. And the big thing that sticks out for me is that Tryndamere as a pick, like I said, very volatile pick. Once he's picked, once he's locked in, the entire game is now warped around the Tryndamere, right? You need to kind of keep your eyes on wherever this guy is roaming around the map. You got to make sure that you are on top of where this guy is, because Tryndamere is actually pretty flexible when it comes to build paths in regards to top laners. And you know, it'll be interesting to see how they tend to build this, because we've been seeing a lot of builds up in the top lane kind of crop out here that go hard on the Omni Vamp, right? We've been seeing, there's a lot of posts on Twitter of people going into Immortal Shield Bow plus oh my god, it's the Hydra. It's the Hydra. It's the Lifesteal Hydra. It's the Omni Vamp Hydra, and then going into some talents as well that also give that increased healing as well. Some more Bloodlust. Yeah, it's Tenacity Bloodlust. That's the self heal one. But yeah, Tryndamere here is actually pretty well situated for those types of items, right? I think the big thing that people like to do on Tryndamere, and what's situated well here, is that once he's done with his ultimate, just slamming the Q in order to heal, right? But if you already have things like Lifesteal in your masteries, as well as additional healing in your masteries as well, there's really good chance that your Tryndamere just wails on people while he is just wailing on that right there. So this is going to be interesting to see how this Tryndamere is played out here by Spoils in the top lane. It is going to be matched by the set. But this is also pretty good, because now I think the Seraphine might have been a bit of a bait here, where you might see this mid lane Seraphine for back after Baron here, which means they're going to have multiple supports on their team. Which means we'll probably see their power spike a little bit later. But I do really like the Bard and Caitlyn in the bot lane. It's not something we've been seeing a whole lot of, but Bard does have a lot better earlier levels than Seraphine does. And not to mention that the biggest thing when you want to pair a support up with Caitlyn, you want to be able to have someone who has a long enough CC that Caitlyn can place a trap underneath someone who has already been stunned, or rooted for that matter, and make sure that you can extend that CC and get additional headshot damage as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of play out this bot lane here. I'm looking forward to see it. Bard is always a fun character to watch be played, and I think Seraphine in the mid lane here has some decent synergy with Diana, but it's hard for me to say 100% I really like it. Seraphine does have some relatively weak early levels here, and if they go into the tier, I'm personally not a fan of Seraph's Embrace as a second item for Seraphine, because it doesn't give you as much damage as you'd like. And on this team, maybe just going straight support on Seraphine isn't bad, because you already have a pretty potent AP threat, and if Diana gets ahead, then you really don't need anything more than that. But I think the big thing for me is that Diana, in this particular meta, I think Diana is actually a lot better. Jock Show plus Nashers plus Sunfire seems like an incredibly potent combination here that makes Diana insanely tanky and still dealing a decent chunk of damage as well, right? It's going to be really tough in order to really get through a lot of these kind of pseudo frontliners that back after Baron have kind of put together here. Set can also build into that Steel True Heart, I think it's called. The new, I'm still trying to get used to all these new items, as well as everyone out there has. But I've seen a lot of folks go for that, charge up and do that big auto attack that heals you mythic item as well on set. So it'll be interesting to see how Back After Baron tries to play around a lot of this kind of big heavy damage that RCG Abyssal Nightmare have put together here. It's a poke comp that has a very strong split pusher in Tryndamere and a very solid initiation and peel for the backline in Jarvan. Right. The problem is that once Jarvan goes in, it's really going to be the onus is going to be on Calmed and Kitsune in order to make sure that they can peel for their team, or at least just be able to go closer to Jarvan, or at least just give some space for their team. Right. It's really the onus is going to be on Karma and Xerath to give them that space and to give them the time in order to throw out their damage, right? There are going to be burst windows that are going to be forced by Back After Baron here, especially with Diana being a solid initiation, Seraphine being able to bring people closer together, really pairs up well with Bard. And so we'll have to see how this goes on here for sure, right? We got a poke comp on one side, we have a team fighting comp on the other. It's just I want to see how this Diana plays is built. I want to see how these supports kind of interact with each other, and I want to see if this Caitlyn is able to get ahead, because that's the big question. That's the big thing for me, because while Caitlyn is kind of getting into her getting into her trough in the mid game of where she's trying to level up her traps, and she's not really gaining a whole lot of big advantages over her opponents. Ezreal is starting to spike, right? This is going to be times where he's building up that Trinity Force. He's going to be looking for maybe a Divine Sunderer, even a Duskblade as well, right? With that lethality build that runs the Essence Reaver instead of the Sheen mythic item. So that's going to be the point where Ezreal gets very strong, is the point where Caitlyn starts to not taper off, but plateau out. So it'll be interesting to see how this mid game is played, because that's going to be a make or break for me, because that's when Seraphine and Bard are going to be doing the most amount of work for their team. And that's when Caitlyn and Diana really have to pop off, because I think a lot of attention is going to be thrown into the top lane in order to deal with Tryndamere, because I don't think Tryndamere really has his place in this 5v5 team 5v5 team fight for Abyssal Nightmare here. So just Tryndamere going into the broken Omnivamp build plus Hull Breaker will probably be the build for them this time around. But we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift for game number 1 of RCG Abyssal Nightmare versus Back After Baron. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome back to our featured match of this evening. My name is Shinkari. I'm on the Rift with our two teams down in the Zaun bracket. We've got a RCG Abyssal Nightmare on the blue side versus Back After Baron on the red. We have a 5-point start for the red team here. We have a counter invade setup for the blue team. So we got two big easy starts here. Really looking, yeah, they're really worried about the invade here. And I think that's pretty warranted. I mean, like, you have a Bard on the enemy team and a set as well. You have pretty solid level ones, especially the amount of damage that Caitlyn can do in these early levels. I think the fear is warranted. Well, it doesn't look like they're able to gain anything off of that. I do want to point out, however, that we do have something rather interesting that we haven't seen in a very long time. Danzilla, sporting the Dark Harvest, excuse me, on Caitlyn. This is usually put together when we want to see a lethality build out of Caitlyn here. So lots of cooldown reduction, looking for that damage on the ultimate rather than like chaining a bunch of headshots together. Now, the big thing about this build is that it does leave your early game just a little bit weaker, but it does make your mid game just a smidgen bit better because you're mostly looking for, like, your level 6 and onward gets a lot better because you're not looking to really chain headshots together, which is what the late game Caitlyn attack speed build is looking to do, right? If you're not 100% needed to chain headshots together, then this is going to be the build to do so. It's going to come down to how well Danzilla can play, though, because this is a relatively greedy build, right? Not having that attack speed does make your damage less consistent. So that's going to be something to keep our eyes on. But overall, I think it's a good adaptation, especially against the enemy team, who is not really going to be building a whole lot of armor, right? Xerath, Ezreal, Karma, even Tryndamere to a degree, and Jarvan, even less so, but still has the ability to do so. So look at this. Sunbird already doing a decent chunk of damage onto archery here down to this bot lane. Real good start to this lane down there for the blue team here. Yeah, we'll see. It doesn't look like Spoils went for Conqueror. I do want to take a quick look at the rest of their abilities here. So they went for Tenacity, and they have Second Wind and Last Stand. So this might be a more traditional Tryndamere build. So we're not going to probably see like the OP builds that have been flaunting around on Twitter for sure, that, you know, went ham into Omnivamp and Lifesteal and just healing in general with that kind of stuff. So we'll see how Spoils wants to play this, but, you know, when it comes to Tryndamere, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know, both these junglers on opposite sides of the map as well. We see Caitlyn down. We see Diana down to this bottom side of the map here, though. I don't think they'll get to be able to get a good gank off to the bot lane here because Karma and Israel have already started to peel away. It's Dr. Matthew Cashew in the top lane there, doing as best he can against the Tryndamere. Like, this is the best time to really try to punish the Tryndamere as best you can, especially as the set. You do have a little bit better staying power inside the lane, just because of how much natural health regeneration you have. But this is going to be a big problem here because here comes Mortified in from the side here. Good EQ combo, going to knock him into the air. The Haymaker Shield is going to be able to let him live for a little bit longer. Mortified trying to go underneath the turret to finish off the kill, but not going to be able to seal the deal this time. It's a wash. Up in the top lane, no first bloods drawn just yet. A bit of a reset across here too. We're going to see Diana making her way over towards that first camp. First camp respawn for her, and I think Jarvan's going to do a similar pathing for himself as well, as all of these camps come back up for their second respawn here. We do see the Blasting Wand being picked up for Diana, so this is a decent chunk of gold in their pockets here as Kitsune takes a little bit of damage there. Real close, and that's going to be a stack of Dark Harvest as well for Danzilla. But yeah, this is going to be something to keep our eyes on, and for Diana, because this is the meta of full clears, right? Full clears are just so much significantly easier to do right now, and so junglers that can do full clears pretty easily already have a leg up on the competition as well. So having Diana go through and just have better full clears than the Jarvan is going to play out a lot in their favor. So we'll have to see, because these camps are worth a heck of a lot of gold. especially after the Season 13 changes and how quickly you can just clear them out. Is Dr. Matthew Cashew is this cosplay? I don't know why I say cosplay. I don't know why that's the thing. Dr. Matthew Cashew. I'm on the top lane here. Doing exactly what you want to do against the Tryndamere in these kind of early levels. I think I mentioned this before, but I didn't really fully elaborate. You want to be able to pressure Tryndamere while he doesn't have the ultimate, right? Or at least just, even if he is level 6, you want to be able to put him in a position where he's forced to use the ultimate so that when your jungler comes by, you can just go and try and kill him again. Problem is, you know, that ability has like a nothing cooldown. It's absurd. At level 1, it's a 2-minute cooldown. Like, that's nothing. Do see the first dragon attempt of the map here. It is going to be an Ocean Drake, which I think is insane for the red team here. I'm a big proprietor of the Ocean Drake. I think Ocean Drake is the best Drake available to folks. As an individual Drake, still very good, even though you probably prefer the Soul. And Infernal Drake is going to be the next Drake of this map. This is still very good because, once again, like, these folks have some pretty solid safe lanes as well, so just giving them that a little bit of extra health and mana regeneration sure to be very useful for a lot of them here. Is Caitlyn getting her first back here and coming back to lane with boots, a serrated dirk, and a dagger here. Definitely going to be really good back for this Caitlyn here. A relatively even back from Ezreal as well, coming back to lane with a Tyr and a Sheen. That's still basically anything. That can be anything. Could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those. But yeah, here we go. Mortified coming into the mid lane again, looking for Wizard Pill this time, but it doesn't look like they're looking to EQ anytime soon into the middle of the turrets against Seraphine. So Cordagio here doing a good job of taking away the big buffs from the red team here, as he's now making his way down into the bot lane. We might see a fight happening in just a little bit. Here comes the Magical Journey over the wall here, looking for the Q, not going to land on the Sunbird here, so they're just going to be able to get away with just some damages. They're still looking for more here. Danzilla, though, might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. Ezreal ultimate comes across, and the slow from the Bard Q is going to be able to give them some space, but Ignite is ticking, and he's insanely low. Kitsune looking for the empowered Q, not going to be able to get it, but that's going to be the last bit of damage they need. First blood goes over to Karma in the bot lane. This is important to note. The Xerath ultimate was also popped to try to get that kill as well. So that's going to be an important cooldown, no longer available for the blue team here. And in these early levels, it does still have pretty big cooldown. A little bit longer than a Tryndamere, but still notable to say the least. I did also say that Tryndamere's cooldown doesn't really have that long of a cooldown because it's only 2 minutes. But that's mostly with respects to just, you know, trying to bait it out and then waiting for your jungler to come up into the top lane in order to kill him. Right? I feel like by the time you've baited Tryndamere in order to use it and then had your jungler come into the top lane, unless it's immediate, that cooldown is nearly off cooldown. We do have a little bit of a reset here once again. We're taking a look at this Diana here, who just backed after a full clear of her bot half. She will have the top half to clear out as well, so we'll probably see her pathing towards that there. And the CS lead is edging out in her favor here. She nearly has that Nashor's Tooth completed, which means we still have yet to see what the actual mythic is going to be for Diana here, which, you know, could really be anything. I think the biggest thing about her Sunfire Aegis build is that it's still able for her to build that particular build without needing to commit to a mythic item, right? So now she could very well go into a Luden's Echo or even a Rocket Belt and still have the Nashor's Tooth Sunfire Aegis build. But take a look at this. I think we got a read on the Rift Herald here. This is going to be Dr. Matthew Cashew here, looking for spoils. That's going to be the slow on a Mortified here. He's going to flash away. Seraphine ultimate comes across, but it doesn't land into anyone. That's going to be the Moonfall coming across. Haymak The Showstopper is going to be able to find the kill on to Jarvan here, as now Spoils, he's in that undying range, not going to be taken down this point, but Cordego is still looking for the little bit less damage there, but not going to be able to find him underneath the turret. They're going to scare them off of the Rift Herald there. Now Danzilla is in some trouble here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 shots of Xerath ultimate, and they're out of there. They're not going to be taken down this time as Archery trying to turn this around into Kitsune. That's going to be ace in the hole from downtown. They can't quite get it though, but Wizard Pill's going to be sealing the deal right there. Sunbird taken incredibly low, but not going to be taken down this time. He's going to flash back to the safety of his turret. The red team is just going to poke some damage down, but oh, Archery is just going for it. Okay. I mean, I admire the gumption, but it looks like we didn't get the ignite down in time. So Sunbird is going to stay alive this time. They're going to be able to back away. I believe that kill went over to Jarvan. So that's a nice chunk of gold for Mortified, who is falling behind in the jungle here in terms of the CS here. So definitely a little bit of nice breathing room for the Jarvan here. Also, during all that madness, the Rift Herald was secured by Matthew Cashew here. Take a look at this. Cordego here, stopped by the EQ combo. That's going to be the Cataclysm to boot. Not able to really follow up the damage there, but here comes Kitsune in from the side. Does have some good poke damage, but shout-outs, 07s in the chat for the minions to block that empowered Q in order to make sure Cordego could get out of there A-okay. We're taking a look at the Dragon Pit now, because this is where we're going to be needing to see a lot of these team fights starting to happen, especially with how even the gold has been this round. You know, it's going to be, if these fights are going to be important for securing a lead for themselves. That's going to be Fate Reforged there being thrown out. That's already so much burst damage on a Mortified here. Danzilla throwing out the ace in the hole, but Kitsune is going to take a whole lot of damage. I don't think they can sit through this any much more. The Q comes out onto Kitsune here, going to slow them down. Soulbird is able to E away, so they're not going to be charmed up too much by that Seraphine ultimate. So it's a wash down the bot lane. A couple ultimates committed. Is up in the top lane. Matthew Cashew has committed that showstopper there as we go back down to the bot lane here. Thank you, Directed Camera. Cordego pulls them in, looking for more, dives right in, but not able to find Sunbird. Sunbird has punished these dives so many times. Archery once more goes underneath the turret, but now he's in some trouble here. Kitsune's going to go down, and now they're looking for the last bit of damage. Blizzard Pill's already taken so much burst. 1, 2 shots, 3 shots, and they're going to be able to find the kill on the Seraphine there. Ends up being a 1 for 3 in favor of the blue team. Rift Herald popped in the top lane here. Spoils does have the Undying Rage available, and that is going to be at least 2 plates for Set up in the top lane there. Nice decent chunk of gold into his pocket because he has been falling behind in terms of CS so far. Luckily, that kill and those plates are going to hopefully even it up a little bit more for Set in the top lane here. Yeah, we actually see a lead for Set up in the top lane thanks to that kill and that and the the turret plates as well. So it's going to be perfectly fine. We should take a note that 800 gold in the lead right now is the blue team right now, and a lot of that is going to be based off of those kills that they just got as Archery. Might have found out Kitsune here. It's up in the top lane. Facebreaker onto Spoils. Not going to be able to find any lasting CC onto Kitsune in order to fully commit to a fight there. As Sunbird, I feel like Sunbird has just been getting away with murder half the time, just being able to just getting dove and just having to it, just ignoring it so well. As Archery still in some trouble here. As oh no, did they steal the blue buff? Yeah, okay. The blue buff was stolen away by Calmed there really quickly to notice that. As they were, the blue buff was taken pretty low there. Now it's Bard who's in some trouble. All the CC right there. The Magical Journey is going to take them across here. Mortified is going to chase, but it's Sunbird the one to find the kill. Now, once again, Matthew Cashew here looking for the kill onto Spoils here, but that's going to be the Undying Rage. He's already used that Haymaker, so he's not going to be able to cash in that big HP shield. But what they are going to cash in down in the bot lane, here's the blue team picking up the second Drake of the game, picking up the third neutral objective of this early game here. It's going to be 1-1 in terms of dragons, and now Danzilla in some trouble one more time, going to get snared up. There's already the burst damage to boot as well, but not even the Yordle Snap Trap will be able to save you down to the bot lane. It's up at the top lane. They trade these kills 1-for-1 by taking down Tryndamere up there, and now they're going to be able to grab this turret as well, and I think this is first turret gold right here for the red team, which is a very good job. They're going to be able to even up this gold a little bit more, especially after losing so many deaths over these past couple of team fights. Archery here, trying to keep the blue team off of the turret as much as they can. They are just a bard, but they are still doing a decent chunk of damage to the two of them here. I think he just needs to spend a little bit more time clearing the minions, because the minions are the one that are tanking up the turret. So we'll see here. Mortified clearing up the red buff. I'm gonna take a look at the warding that they've already done so far here. Now a lot of it is pretty defensive. We don't really see the blue team really pressing the warding into the enemy jungle here. It's mostly just around the Baron, the Dragon Pit right now. So a lot of that vision isn't exactly helpful right now. It will be helpful if Cordego goes in front of the ward here. But as it stands, like with Rift Herald spawning in just a little bit, it might be just more value to start placing wards on that quadrant of the map, that northern red buff quadrant of the map, just to get the more offensive vision for that Rift Herald here. And now that plates are down, you're not going to be able to get that additional gold, but you are going to be able to get some more, get some significant damage onto some of these turrets, and in some cases just flat out take them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is played around here. Now we got the crab being taken down to the bottom half of the map. We're going to have to keep our eyes there. Spoils looking for Wizard Pill here, but he's going to be able to get away. 1, 2, 3 shots. 4 shots by Wizard Pill. Mortify coming in from the side as well. Going to throw down the Cataclysm. Wizard Pill trying to live as best he can. That's going to be the artillery damage from Calm coming down as his friend falls as well. It's now Sunbird down to the bot lane as well, looking for the kill on the Caitlyn here. Just some fancy schmancy moves. As here comes Dr. Matthew Cashew here. Does find out Spoil's not able to facebreaker him just yet. Not going to be able to get that stun, but pulling them back in is really good. Look at that damage. Holy. Dr. Matthew Cashew still staying alive in this fight right now. That's going to be the Haymaker Shield coming across, but that's a good stun by Calm there. Going to be able to scare them away from pressuring onto this Tryndamere anymore. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that for sure. Once again, Sunburn looking for the fight onto Danzilla here. We're getting a Widowmaker ego duel down in the bot lane here, but Archery does not respect the 1v1. Going to come and be able to secure that kill for their AD carry onto the Ezreal there. So it's a decent chunk of damage for them here. I want to point out that this Diana, obviously not going for the Sunfire Aegis just yet, looking for that Hextech Alternator, so it's probably going to be a rocket belt for them. But Hextech Alternator, insane item. I think people forget like how good that item is and how insane it is just like as a component by itself, right? It's like, in my opinion, it's the best components now. Dr. Matthew Cashew in a whole lot of trouble. Flag and Drag is good. He's low on HP. Can he try to use the Showstopper to get away? He's got the big shield. Here comes Cordego diving onto the backside here. Going to be able to find Kitsune here now, looking on Spoils, but Spoils does have that Undying Rage available. That's going to be from downtown. It's going to be Xerath plus Tryndamere going to be able to pick up that kill onto Diana up in the top lane. It ends up being 1 for 2 in favor of the blue team here. The gold still even though. Bard ultimate coming across here, maybe trying to save the turret for just a little bit longer here. Archery comes in. He's going to be in a bit of trouble. That's going to be the Seraphine ultimate coming across. Spoils looking pretty worse for wear here. That's going to be Wizard Pill picking up that damage there. Can they kill Mortified? This might be pretty big for them. Ace in the hole coming across. There it is. Oh, still not there. They have a little bit of damage left. 1E. There's Airy. And Wizard Pill takes up the kill there. Sunbird down to the bot lane here. Throws out the exhaust on Dr. Matthew Cashew. That's going to be the Haymaker coming across for the set. Not going to be able to connect that damage just yet. So they're just going to back away. Sunbird just making their way over to Krugs here and pick up some more CS. They have been CSing pretty well this entire game, but only recently have they fallen behind Caitlyn in terms of numbers. So now we're seeing the prep for the next big objective here. and that's going to be the first Earth Drake of the game. Now, the red team already pretty significantly ahead in this right here. Kitsune looking for the steal. They also have Zerath over the wall as well, but not going to stop the smite. Diana is going to be the one securing the kill right there. You now see Dr. Matthew Cashew might be in some trouble here. Karma and Spoils looking for him. They've got the whole squad is down here. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Everyone is here, and they are long gone. Nothing to gank here, sir. Please move along. Now, here we are. We're looking at just a little bit more time with this Rift Herald here. I'll be interested to see where this Diana chooses to drop it. It might be best just to throw it into the mid lane, just to have it thrown somewhere. Just because at this stage, like, we're losing time on the Rift Herald here, and we really have to make sure that it's worth something rather than nothing. And just kind of dropping it anywhere is mostly fine. So we are going to see it dropped into the mid lane here. We might even see a turret go down. I don't think that the blue team has the means in order to stop it. There is Kitsune in some trouble here. That's going to be the Haymaker shield coming out from Dr. Matthew Cashew here. But that ultimate from Bard is flashed away as Kitsune tries to live for a little bit longer. But Matthew Cashew is going to be able to live at 1, 2, 3 shots from Zerath. Make that 4. It's not going to be able to take anyone down or save any teammates here. So it is going to be 2 for nothing down to the bottom lane. As now, here we are. We are looking for a Zerath here. Just going to shove out this wave. It should be noted that all of the outer turrets, now with this last one here being secured by the red team here, all the outer turrets for RGB are taken down, or RGC rather, are taken down. Whew, excuse me. And now, we're still taking a look. I do like this Diana build here. We'll probably see the Sunfire Aegis come out on the other half of with this next item here. I think they're mostly finished. I was for sure convinced that we were going to see Jock Show as the mythic item for Diana, but I think Rocket Belt is just perfectly fine. Like, Rocket Belt was the item that Diana was building before the Sunfire Aegis build was put together here. And it does give you just that a bit of extra oomph once an initiation has happened in order to get towards more, should I say, squishier targets as Radiant Virtue. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I haven't seen the Radiant Virtue item yet, so that is it's a pretty interesting item for the Bard here. I don't know if I like it 100%. Look, I'm biased. Shurelia's Battle Song is like my favorite item in the game. So whenever anyone can build Shurelia's Battle Song and they don't build Shurelia's Battle Song, I get like a little upset. Dr. Matthew Cashew fighting Spoils down here. I don't know why he's cutting backwards. He's winning that 100%, but look at the amount of damage on the Sunbird. Holy! Is now Dr. Matthew Cashew. That's going to be the showstopper, but that's going to be the Undying Rage to match. And it's not going to be able to do anything this time as Spoil's going to be able to find that kill down to the bot lane here. Archery up in this top half of the map here, just looking to keep the blue team away from the Baron as much as they can. Maybe they can get something down there, but it is currently a 4v4. They do have to be careful. There's the slow. Are they going to answer? Flashes right into the Tempered Fate here. Flag and drag onto the backside here. Danzilla trying to be just threatened here, but look at the amount of damage they're able to get on the Zerath. They're absolutely huge. Kitsune here going to be able to snare a Void of Wizard Pill here, but look at, once again, the lethality damage onto Danzilla. Way, way, way too powerful, and they lose a significant number of teammates here, and they have to do this. This is a really good answer to this Tryndamere push down to the bottom lane. We're going to go right for this Baron right here. You've lost 3 members. You've lost 2 members. You've got another member on in the bot lane there. You can take that turret, but we are going to take the Baron. All right. Slayed up, and we have the whole team with the Baron buff right here. They're going to be able to do their namesake here and back after Baron. Even Set's doing it. Set was the closest to the base. He still backed after Baron, and there's Diana backing after Baron as well. We love to see teams going after their namesakes here. Is Wizard Bill trying their best to save this mid lane turret here, but sadly there's a Tryndamere on the other side, so they're just mostly going to be living through that. So could be able to do too much. As Eclipse being finished up for Caitlyn here. I'm not sure if I like it enough because sometimes you just want to throw out your ultimate and not look for that little bit of extra damage and healing with the clips. So Duskblade of Drakthar usually ends up being a little bit better, especially with the ability haste you're able to get. And going invisible in team fights, I mean, I might be biased towards that item, but I still think that it's a little bit better for Caitlyn here. Sunbird, holy. Ace in the hole comes across. Mortified going to take some damage here. Body blocking it for the AD carry. Dives onto the backside here. Moonfall is going to deal a whole lot of damage to the Kitsune here, but has to flash forward onto Sunbird on the backside here. Kitsune still in some trouble here as Denzel is going to be able to find the kill onto Jarvan on the backside here. Spoils looking to Spinning Blade away. Archery looking to contest. That's going to be the Undying Rage coming across here as here comes the rest of the team to answer. Spoils still looking for the kill onto Archery here, but that's going to be the cue from Caitlyn being able to seal the deal there. Is calmed over the wall. Looking to try to seal the dragon away as much as they can, but not going to be able to finish that off as here comes Archery. They're going to be stunned up, not going to be able to follow up this Xerath, but they take a whole lot of poke damage. I don't think you want to chase that. As you take a look at the rest of the map here, it should be noted that a little bit of the Baron buff has already been used by the red team here by going to pick up that dragon. So we should keep our eyes on how much damage they can get onto these inner turrets here, because Set is going to be able to push really well against this Xerath, who does have good wave clear normally, but these are minions with a lot of magic resistance. And here we see the ultimate being flung around here, but that's going to be Mortified, Flag and dragging onto Wizard Pill here. He's looking for something. That's going to be the magical journey across here. Going to be stunned, slowed up. Ace in the hole from downtown on the Calm. Not going to be able to find it. Flag and drag. Mortified still looking for a little bit more here. The rest of the team is coming to answer. That's going to be Tempered Fate coming across. The Seraphine ultimate isn't going to land, but I think that's going to be fine as Mortified goes down to the second half of the Nightfall there. So much damage on the Karma is going to be the next to fall. Caitlyn picking up a triple kill here. This is big. Calmed. Now the next target. They're going to get the Quadra. Are they gifting the pentakill? Here comes Caitlyn. She's going forward. She's looking for Sunbird, but he's too slippery. Can they get the last bit of damage? Give him the penta. He's popping Ghost. 1, 2, pentakill for the Caitlyn. Holy! Just when you thought it wasn't going to happen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go down to the Piltover Sniper. And now we have the painful process that a lot of teams have to go through here as RCG now in a whole lot of trouble. The red team doesn't have this Baron buff anymore, but there's 2 waves, 2 lanes of super minions shoving into their base here, and I love this rotation that they're doing here. Once again, they don't have the Baron buff anymore, but these turrets are real low HP, and they have a lot of resources available to them that they can play around with right now. So hats off to them of not doing the thing I see so many times in gold solo queue where people are like, oh, we got their mid inhibitor. Let's just run down the mid lane and try to beat them there. And it's like, bro, please take the other bases. Stop running down mid. Like every single time you could win a team fight, you're not going to win the game. Please, I beg of you, take down some turrets in some other lanes. But it looks like we're not going to get that just yet. It should be the Sunfire Aegis is finished up for Diana here. So that's a nice chunk of resistances for them. It looks like their next item might be a Morello Namicon. I don't hate it, but it should still be pretty powerful here. As Seraphine finishing up the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Now that is an item I think is a little bit better than Seraph's second. I like Rylai's better than Seraph's second just because, you know, the ability haste is really good once you have the damage to do so. But now, speaking of damage, that's going to be a whole lot onto the Ezreal here. Stunned up for an eternity and nowhere to go. Archery is going to be the one sealing the deal there. As now, yeah, this is now looking some pretty bad for the blue team here. They're not able to even get defensive warding inside their own jungle here. As Cord Agio here. Still looking for more Archery, throwing out their ultimate here. Still trying to fish for something. They do have the team composition to do it, but this is going to be them shoving in this wave right here. All 5 members in the base right now. Looking for something. Xerath ultimate comes across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not going to be able to find a whole lot of poke damage there. The team going to be able to survive through most of it. They pick up the final inhibitor now, so the next wave that spawns should have 2 super minions in it. This is important. They already have super minion waves pushing into the base. How are they going to... You already had trouble with 1 super minion, Yuki. So what hope do you have against 2? As now, we do have a little bit of some... I want to see how much damage that did to Sunbird. Holy. Okay. That was like 600 damage right there. But I think this is a good call from them. They tried to set up a death brush there, but I think their exit was noted by the blue team there. And this is the perfect time to start up this Baron and finish it off, because this is the end of the game right here, folks. I mean, maybe they go over, since this timer is time, since these respawns are timed pretty close together here, they might make their way over to the Earthdrake here and force a fight by the blue team, because the blue team, I don't think they want to, it doesn't look like they're looking to give up this Earthdrake anytime soon here. Is fortified over the wall. Not going to be pulled over, but it's going to be face slammed still. As, yeah, they're trying to secure it right here. It's important to note that Diana is not there, so they need to pull the dragon all the way out. They want to be able to get it. Cordego here, or Cordgeo here. Fate tempered over the wall, but not going to be able to find it. As that's going to be Flash for Mortified over the wall as well. And this is Dragon Soul plus Baron. And look at this as well. Look at how many super minions are in the base right now. They spent so much time trying to contest the Drake that they didn't see the foe knocking on their door. It's the Winions. Look at how much damage they're dealing to these turrets. The second Nexus turret is nearly down, and all the red team need to do is just waltz in. Flash, Face Breaker, that's going to be the Moonfall, and the Encore as well. Going to be able to find one so far. Danzilla is going to be on that kill streak one more time. Still looking for them. Not going to be able to find it this time, as Archery is going to be the one picking up the kill on Spoils there. 1 kill onto Caitlyn, back for the blue team here, but it is way too late. 32 minutes into this game, 25 kills later. It's going to be game number 1, going over to back after Baron. What a stupendous game from them, for sure. Back after Baron. I mean, we saw them do their namesake twice at least in that game there. So hats off to them. If the score doesn't reflect it, that's mostly, you know, hey, cool. We might not have only 1 point, but we have 2 points in Shinkari's heart, of as I am the self-proclaimed unofficial flavor judge of Style Esports. You do get some flavor points for backing after Baron 2 times. You get 2 points. Where's this point scheme being kept track? Who knows? What are they worth? Also, who cares? But that's going to be game number 1 being finished up there. Back after Baron. You know, that game was even for a very long time, but I think it was really just these fights around the dragon area that were able to give a lot of big advantages for the red team here. I think another thing is that Diana was just farming a lot better than Jarvan was in that early game there. You can't see the final screen here, but the comparison in gold is pretty staggering between Diana and Jarvan, and comparing their CS score as well is also pretty big up there as well. So once again, the farming is insanely good. Keep going out there and learning how to farm and making sure that you're able to be efficient with your farming. Because at the end of the day, Diana had 248 and Jarvan had 167. So this is going to be something to keep note as we get into game number 2 here. We are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be in Picks and Bans of game number 2 of RCG, Abyssal Nightmare versus back after Baron. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome back to our featured match of this evening. We've got Back After Baron up against RCG Abyssal Nightmare. And if you are joining us for the first time, Back After Baron is currently up 1-0 over RCG Abyssal Nightmare here. And this is a pretty important match right here coming into this, right? This is going to be a very important game right now, because this is do or die time for both of these teams, but specifically RCG Abyssal Nightmare, right? This is their last chance to this is the second it hits match point, right? This is now their last chance to keep their playoff dreams alive. This is the lower bracket right here. This is the knockout stage. If you lose here, you're going home, and by going home, this is an online tournament. You're probably just going to bed, being upset about it, maybe door dashing yourself some ice cream later, and being okay with it, you know. um, but yeah, game number one, Back After Baron and RCG Nightmare had a very, very close early game here, but it came to kind of a sweep, and as more and more team fights happened, Back After Baron had accumulated some strong CS leads and was able to take down what RCG Abyssal Nightmare had drafted here. So now we're getting the first pick for Back After Baron here on the blue side. And much to Tiger 58, another one of our casters here at Style Esports, his delight, you know, we see RCG Abyssal Nightmare when given the chance to choose a side, opted for the red side here. So this is going to be a pretty good time for them here. It is a very strong side. Season 13 has seen a big spike in win rate for the red side in season 13. So we'll have to see if this continues. But we already had one game, one on the red side, and you know, at Worlds, blue side was OP, and maybe the tides have shifted. Maybe after 13 years of World of Warcraft, excuse me, 13 years of League of Legends, that it is finally the time for the red side to have the advantage. So let's see how RCG Abyssal Nightmare starts off this game. They are opting for the Shen this time around, which was banned in the first game. And Caitlyn going to be locked in one more time, but the Zyra Khan is going to be locked in for Back After Baron here. So I like the Caitlyn lock in here for excuse me, for RCG Abyssal Nightmare. They did playing against that Caitlyn from the last game against Back After Baron was a real pain in the butt, especially when they didn't have the team to really have to deal with that lethality Caitlyn there. So now against them here, they have a Rakan, they have an Ornn, and these are already two characters that can build into armor fairly well. So maybe we'll see. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Okay, we're not sneezing this time. My body was like, we're gonna sneeze. Oh, we're sneezing. I'm sneezing. I'm not sneezing. But yeah, but this is how we're going to go into this next game here. Ram Dog, yo, we got Ram Dog. We got the Rammus. We got the ball that everyone has been waiting for in TFT. Rammus is here, and this is actually pretty interesting to see him locked in here. We haven't seen Rammus played in Style Esports or even in competitive fives play in a very, very, very long time. I feel like it's been an eternity since I've seen this character. Sometimes you even forget that he exists. But I think that might actually be a really good meta for Rammus to come back. I think Jock Show as an item is really well suited for Rammus, as well as that Thornmail as well, right? That most valuable item. But I think the big thing here is that the Turbo Chem Tank is no longer a mythic item. And I think that's the biggest thing for Rammus here, right? He scales really well off that movement speed. He did get a change recently where he is no longer slowed when he pops his W. And that's really big because it means that you can pop a lot of your movement speed things and be able to really still utilize your movement speed and your defenses as well. So you get these final bans coming across here, Morgana and Lux being taken away from the Caitlyn here. So we're probably not going to see any of those kind of really busted bottom lanes there. We're also not going to see the Yuumi as well. Vigart and Seraphine being banned away from Back After Baron here, taken away from Wizard in the mid lane there, Wizard Pill. in the mid lane there. So not going to see a whole lot of good stuff there, but I don't think either of these characters are particularly necessary. I think the Vigar probably would have been the better pick for Wizard Pill there coming into this, but Nami being locked in for Caitlyn here. Not exactly a Lucian Nami lane, but Caitlyn Nami still very powerful. Caitlyn really able to make use out of that Tidecolor's Blessing here. But back after Baron, really hovering some interesting jungle picks here. I don't think it's going to be the Swain, but it can be in the mid lane there. I don't hate the Swain lock in here. I think when paired with Zaun, Rakan, Swain is very, very powerful. Is able to line up his ultimate a lot with the other characters. And do you want to know what I noticed? This is like a really, really little tidbit here, but it does kind of look like it. Okay, so bear with me here, chat. Bear with me. I want you to take a look at Swain's head. Okay, take a look at Swain's head. Are we all looking at Swain's head? I'm going to take that as a yes. Here we are. I want you to take a look at his head. Look on the side of his head where you can kind of see where his hair goes downwards. And if you look at like this kind of like thicker line above his ear, I wish I could point it out. But if you look at this thicker line above his ear, it does kind of look like a bird wing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? There's like one like really, really standouty line that goes from like the V shape on the top of his head down towards his ear and then go down towards his eyes, and it curves out and then fans backwards into the rest of his long hair on the backside here. And it does look like a wing. It does kind of look like a wing a little bit. Right? We all seeing the little wing on Swain's head? Just wanted to point that out. I thought that was cool. I don't know. It looks kind of like a wing. Could be a wing. Doesn't have to be a wing. However, Karthus going to be the final lock-in for back after Baron here. I think that's a really good... This team has a lot of good synergy, a lot of good AoE control, a lot of good zone control, a lot of good AoE damage here. It's going to be on RCG, Abyssal Nightmare, to really build around it. And I think that's important, that there's mostly going to be magic damage. And I think these Swain and Karthus last picks here were mostly to counter the Rammus. Rammus is now going to have to dive onto the backside in order to get Xayah and dive through a lot of characters as well. He's going to have to use that ultimate really, really well if he's want to be able to get successful on the Xayah. But the problem is, how boring does Danzilla want to play, right? Because I feel like if you're Danzilla playing against a Rammus, right? Rammus is looking to gun for you every day of the week. There's just a realm where Xayah just holds onto her ultimate for as long as humanly possible, waits for Rammus to try to dive on the backside, pops the ultimate right as he's about to land, and then, you know, as he goes for the taunt, you know, you're untargetable. You get to throw out some damage before he gets to do his little thing, and the rest of your team can start to peel for you in that little moment. So this is now looking to be like a pretty interesting time to try to be Rammus, right? Because now you're up against two very powerful AP champions that are like, oh, you're coming to me? Great, wonderful. That sounds great for me. Would be a shame if something were to happen to you here. And maybe we see Rammus have to shift away from the Thornmail and go into more of a Mumu build. You know, we've seen Amumu's build Jack Show. We've seen Amumu's build the Abyssal Mask, the Sunfire Aegis, right? And just kind of be this drain tank, the pseudo drain tank, just being in the middle of the team. And I still think that this build is relatively fine for Rammus. You trade the Sunfire Aegis for a Turbo Chem tank. You go Jock Show and excuse me, I'm brain farting really bad. Abyssal Mask, and while it's not 100% taking advantage of doubling down on Rammus's W, because there's so few auto attackers on the enemy team, just being able to be in the middle of Swain and Karthus and being able to live through their damage is probably going to be more important than being able to double down on your Thornmail. Now let's be clear, Thornmail is still an insanely good item on Rammus, right? And even if like this build requires you to go into a different path early, Thornmail is still better. It's just later, right? Because you just want the anti-healing for Swain, you want the anti-healing for Rakan, you're gonna want the anti-healing against this team in general to help out your team finish off a lot of these tanky targets, right? But I think just going into Jock Show, and the drain tanky kind of build might just be better, just because you're able to live longer against Swain and Karthus, and to a lesser extent Ornn, um, and you don't need to really double down on your Thornmail this game as the Rammus. To comment on the rest of the team as well, I mean, RCG Abyssal Nightmare here have a pretty solid composition. They have really solid initiation between Rammus and Fizz. They have really good follow-up with Shen and Nami, and then they have solid AD and AP damage on their team as well. They have some good damage split. It's just gonna come down to me, like, because man, it depends on how late this game goes, right? Because RCG Abyssal Nightmare will have some solid ground to stand on the later this game goes, but I feel like the later this game goes, it's really going to be better for back after Baron for sure, because I feel like Swain just having all that cooldown reduction, being able to constantly press that R button and not have to worry about, having a super long cooldown. You have Ornn passing out the ornaments. You have Karthus being able to be in the middle of a team fight and die and still do a quadrillion damage, right? For free also, right? It's going to be really hard for RCG Abyssal Nightmare to deal with. I mean, especially the ornaments, right? The ornaments are just 1,000 gold worth of value each, right? Like that's already like if you are ahead at that stage, you're just starting to slap someone with your wallet at that point, right? So it's important to keep our eyes on how late this game goes, because even in the previous game, we saw this game go for about 32 minutes, which, if this is a repeat performance from back after Baron, this is going to be a match that really favors them. Because I don't like the way that Fizz scales into the late game. I personally don't like the way Nami scales, and Rammus got countered pretty hard with the Swain and Karthus lock-ins, buyback after Baron, and Shen will be able to split push pretty hard, but that's mostly all that we'll see from him. He'll probably build into like a Steel Heart and a Titans and a Titanic Hydra. But his damage is not going to be enough, really. Their biggest late game tools, especially in terms of damage, is going to be Caitlyn, because Fizz is going to be able to be caught up to. They need to win this game early. Fizz has a really good advantage against Swain in the early game here, and so they want to be able to press these early advantages that they have with Fizz and Caitlyn here in order to make sure that they can end the game before ornaments can be passed out, or even just like finishing the game before Swain can become a significant threat. So that is going to do it from me here. I think we have a couple predictions. Obviously, this is RCG Abyssal Nightmare's last chance to stay in the match here. Whether we're going to go to a game 3 or whether we're going to have to say hello to the Door Dasher bringing us our ice cream at the end of this game, we'll have to see. But we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 2 of Back After Baron versus RCG Abyssal Nightmare. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Welcome back to Style Esports, and welcome back to tonight's featured match. On the blue side, up one game is back after Baron, and on the red side, fighting for their survival in this tournament is RCG Abyssal Nightmare. They're looking for an invade right now that is spotted out by a ward, so it doesn't look like they're going to be incredibly successful here. So it looks like their first blood cheese might not happen as well as they'd hoped. So we'll keep our eyes on it for sure as they continue their advance into the blue team's jungle here. Ward over the wall hasn't spotted anyone just yet. And that's because the blue team, they're long gone. Take a look at the top half of the map here. Karthus and Ornn are starting opposing red, which is actually a pretty good start, I might add. This once again, this entire meta is all about full clears. Sometimes you even just ignore the fact that the enemy jungler just exists and you just walk, and just clear out your own jungle here. But I think the big thing is that counter jungling the buffs are a lot better than counter jungling the individual camps. I think this is going to be important because Dr. Matthew Cashew, they're going to run into Spoils here. Spoils is going to catch them out. They might be able to fight them just a little bit and have Shen come to lane just a little bit later here. Might be a slight advantage for Ornn, but let's see if it really comes into play for sure. As on the bot lane, RCG gets a good knock up onto Sunbird here, takes a decent chunk of damage, but this is the time to really abuse this Xayah Rakan, because Xayah doesn't really have as good early levels as this Caitlyn does, especially level 1, level 2. With Rakan around, it's a little bit better, but they do have to be careful. As up at the top lane, looks like that lead that they got was able to get Bear at least some fruit, as they're already sporting a bit of a lead here, but it is only 3 CS, so it's nothing really to write home about. But Dr. Matthew Cashew is in a bit of a lead for it themselves. As we take a look at the jungle here, and we see this kind of horizontal path being taken by both junglers here. So we see Rammus coming into the blue side to pick up that red buff because they know it's been stolen away. Calmed. This is basically when Calmed needs to be pushing onto Wizard Pill right here. These first 5 levels are going to be very important for Fizz, because Fizz's early levels are insanely better than Swain's in the bot lane. Still more trading. Once again, a lot of lanes here. Weak in these early levels. Wizard Pill forced to flash away, but taunted back in. That's going to be first blood going over to Calmed on the Fizz. As now, RCG gets a good knock up onto Sunbird here. Karthus coming in from the lane here, but not going to be able to follow up on that good initiation started there by Rakan. So, unsuccessful gank for the blue team just yet here, as 1.1 thousand gold in the lead. The red team looking pretty solid for themselves as CS leads start to accumulate across the map here, and also some kill leads as well for that first blood onto Fizz. So we'll see how this plays out, but this is still really good for the Fizz. Wants to continue to pressure the Swain in these early levels here. Swain, not so great without his ultimate, and in these first few levels, definitely does not have it. Don't. Some of you don't need me to tell you that, but it is important to know. First 5 levels, definitely Fizz favored. Karthus here. We're going to try to start this dragon as early as possible. We do have about 40 seconds, so it looks like they're going for the crab here. Wants just a little bit of help. Doesn't think he can duel 1v1 against the Rammus. I do want to note that it is a little interesting that the team decided to go for so many late game champions here. I usually am a fan of just having 1 or 2. But Wizard Pill down to the bot lane here. Throws down. That's going to be the wall being thrown down as the archery forcing the flash out of Sunbird here. That's going to be so incredibly low on the Nami. Not going to be able to finish off the kill, but does give some prio over to the blue team down to this bottom half of the map. They might be able to make their way over towards this dragon for themselves and pick up a pretty good early Drake. It is going to be Infernal, so not the best individual Drake you can get, but it is still a pretty big power boost to make sure that they can make trades just a little bit more evenly in some of these lanes. And we're taking a look at some item builds here. So we do see a Kindle Gem being built up by Rammus here, so we're probably going to see maybe a True Heart, Iron Steel True Heart. I keep forgetting the name of that item. But it is, once again, that's another solid item for Rammus. Does give him a little bit of burst damage in these engagements here. And based on the fact that he's running Aftershock, I think that might be exactly what he's looking for here. So, going to be something to keep our eyes on, because the mythic items that tanks can build in this season are insane. They're so good that even some not tanks are building them. Like, we see Swain building them, we see Diana building them, as well as Wizard Bill. Oh my gosh, that's so much burst damage. He already knows what's going to happen. Calmed walks away, easy peasy. This Fizz might have had to spend the ignite in order to secure the kill, but still picks it up for themselves in the mid lane there. Wizard Pill goes down another time. Still a tough time for the Swain in the mid lane. And now Calmed looking to get on top of Cordego here. Cordego here forces the exhaust away from Cordego here, which is pretty big. That's another big summoner spell not available for the blue team, because take a look at down this bottom half of the map. They have no vision of this as well. Rammus is just clearing out the Infernal Drake right now. Ready? Here we go. Now, you have the first dragon secured here by the red team. They have a lot of prio. They have some good clears onto it. So let's see how they decide to use this next Drake that's going to spawn is going to be the Earth Drake. So we have Ocean, Cloud, Hextech, and Chemtech of dragons available for the soul this time round. Of course, I think we're always hoping for the Chemtech Drake, because it gives us more time to mess around with some of the new stuff available. But, you know, as some of you may know, huge Ocean Dragon fan here, as side down the bot lane, Danzilla not having as good as a time as they'd like. Alrighty. Yeah, mostly. Alrighty. Now we see these, now we're going to take stock of where we're at about 8 minutes into this game here. Lots of CS leads across the map for the red team has given them some fruit. 1,000 gold in the lead for them. They also have a Drake to boot. No dragons have been taken just yet, and not a whole lot of kills, and they're all onto Calmed in the mid lane here, battling this Swain, who is not having a great time. Swain does not like being pressured in these early levels here, and has been so used to fighting Victors, fighting Syndras, fighting Silas, who's just like, yeah, I'm good in these first early levels. I don't really want to fight. I mean, I will if I have to. But, you know. Now Swain has to deal with Fizz, who's just like, haha, level 2 fight. Now, knock up onto Kitsune here. Maybe they'll look for a little bit more, but there's a good job by Sunbird to kite them backwards here and placing down that trap in order to keep them from engaging further without taking a big headshot worth of damage. So, not going to be able to go that just yet, as now, once again, it has calmed down just a little bit, which is oh no, Wizard Pill. All right, he pops the ultimate, might be able to live through this as best he can here, but he's taunted. Mortified is going to be the one securing the kill there, and that's just a big more advantages for this Fizz in the mid lane. I think we're going to have to see some magic resistance come out yesterday for this blue team here if this Fizz continues to be a very strong member of their team. As now, here we are. We see them gathering around this Drake here. Drake half of the map. It mostly looks like a bait here. Archery. They are fighting around the red buff here. Danzilla has found Sunbird here, but Sunbird already dealing a decent chunk of damage. Throws out the ultimate in order to dodge some damage. It's not going to be able to be as successful as they like. Ace in the hole comes down. Danzilla taken low, but no kill just yet. The red buff is taken away by Rammus down in this bottom half of the map here. As we continue this game, still relatively quiet. You know, it definitely less kills in comparison to the previous game here. I think if we don't see the go button press relatively soon for RCG, we're going to have a whole lot of problems because Dr. Matthew Cashew, this is someone to keep our eyes on. The longer that he's able to sit in lane and be perfectly fine, there's been a lot of good attention onto Wizard Pill. And just as I say that, oh my god, this guy's being bullied. This is bullying. This is bullying that's happened in the mid lane here. 0-4 now on the Swain. Not exactly a great time. It's now losing so much CS, losing so much time. They're losing so many levels, and it's just really, really tough to really get some advantages in this mid lane here. But I think the saving grace is that the top lane is winning. The bot lane is close. They're down a wave. It's, you know, more even than the rest of the map here. So almost all the gold that is the gold lead on the red team is on this Fizz. And while Fizz is a mid laner, so should be able to... Oh, no. Underneath the turret, Cord Geo here throws down the exhaust, looking for the kill onto Calmed here, but can't quite close it out as Calmed goes forward. Oh, and he's going to be able to troll pull away, too. That's going to be the Requiem coming across, but immediately answered by the Stand United. This could be in some trouble as that's the taunt being thrown out here. Wizard Pill throws out the ultimate as well. They're going to be able to secure the kill here as Rammus finishes off the Rift Herald there and comes to answer in the mid lane. It ends up being a 1-for-1, or a 2-for-1 rather, with Wizard Pill going down relatively easy in that. As now we see the next Drake spawn on this map here. Earth Drake is going to be the second Drake of this map here, which should be relatively good for anyone who picks it up. Obviously, I think it's better for the blue team here, just getting those extra bits of stats. Once again, there's going to be a point in this game where you just whack the opponent with your wallets, right? And by giving yourselves just a little bit more defensive stats means that when these ornaments get passed around, those just raw stat sticks are going to be a lot better for your team here, and just giving themselves a little bit more extra defenses is going to be really important. As the soul for this map, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, my lords, my ladies, and those who doth lie betwixt, the chem plants bloom. The chem plants are blooming. And behold, the Chemtech Rift is before us. This is a great new time here. We have a lot of upgraded plants all over the map. So it should be something to keep our eyes on for sure. We do have the Jock Show being finished up for the Rammus here. So we might see the Amumu build. Who knows? But this Ram is still a little bit behind in terms of CS when compared to the Karthus here. But definitely is keeping up, especially with those 2 assists and the kill as well. So we'll see as this build gets later and later that is able to... what they're going to opt in for these two other items here. As, you know, this game, I still think is relatively slow here. We haven't seen a whole lot of fighting, right? If anything, it's just mostly Calmed, like, turret diving the mid lane, right? That's where we've seen a lot of our kills so far. And, you know, that's kind of it, right? We've seen some scrapping, but no, like, kills back and forth. And once again, I think this favors the blue team here, right? Because the later this game goes, the better Danzilla is going to get, the better Cashew is going to get here. Is once again down to this bot lane. Still not able to find any significant engages here. Rammus has now shown up, does have that Rift Herald as well. So let's see how the red team chooses to deal with this push right here. There we go. Charge in, Shelly. Hey! First turret is destroyed. Rammus is going to be able to pick up that local gold for themselves, and that's a nice chunk of change for the red team here. They're now up 2.4. Now Archery in a whole lot of trouble. Rammus ultimate onto the backside here for Danzilla. Going to be able to throw that out. There's 2 big roots. Danzilla's going to be able to pick up one, maybe be able to find another. Calm dives onto the backside here, but good dive, good block for Sunbird there. The last bit of Ignite is taken. Not going to be able to find it. Here comes the Requiem down from downtown. Not going to be able to find his Wizard Phil. Still looking for Mar. Not going to be able to find the kill onto Fizz. I don't think they want to dive anymore. They're down there. Fizz can still spell some problems up in the top lane here. Dr. Matthew Cashew doing so much damage to spoils here. But I don't think they're able to secure the kill up there for sure. So it ends up being, I believe, a 2 for none down there. They were able to find Nami. They were able to find Sunbird as well. So some nice kills for them as well. Oh, no. Gio throws out the exhaust here, might be able to get away from Calmed, but the troll pole is way too good, and Fizz is going to be able to get away from this. A-okay. Man, yeah, I hate to see it. This Fizz is just way too powerful. Now, Dr. Cashew just does so much damage with this Titan Steel. Heartsteel, that's what it's called. Yeah. Once again, I think the biggest thing for the blue team right now is just to make sure that Matthew Cashew gets to be able to sit in this top lane, is able to get this solo experience. They're out farming the Shen right now, which is the most important thing for them right now, and to continue this game, right? Make this game last longer, right? And right now they're kind of getting what they asked for, right? This Fizz's damage is going to fall off the later that we're going. This Caitlyn is going to scale up pretty well. But, you know, Rammus is just going to be mostly an armor bot if he doesn't build to counter these MR, these mages here. So once again, I think I've belabored that point a whole lot here, the scaling of the blue team here, but they are able to get it so far. So 1.5 thousand gold is a pretty sizable lead, but it's nothing to write home about. Is Danzilla taking, I don't think, oh my god. It's really, really good for them right now. I I see the Gale Force completed by Danzilla, and man, you know, I don't wanna throw any shade, but if I see the Gale Force completed and no anti-tank items, and then Danzilla isn't able to kill Shen or Rammus later, and then complains to Twitter about tanks being too good in Season 13, I might scream. I might scream. I might get very mad. Man, there's tank itemization certainly is very powerful in Season 13, let's be clear. But man, oh no, a wizard kill. He's being bullied. Calmed, what's up? I know his HP bar is red to you, and that means he's an enemy, you gotta kill him. But he's 2 and 5, man. What is up? Alrighty. Yeah, just to finish the point. Oh. Alrighty, we have a bit of a pause here in order to have a little bit of competitive integrity. Alrighty, so here we are. Game number 2, still looking pretty promising for the red team here. Looking pretty strong. You know, we're seeing some good performances out of Calmed here. As now we're seeing a lot of you know, this game I still think is a lot more even than I think you give it, than maybe the scoreboard will tell you. I still have some faith in our folks on the blue side here because, you know, I've said it once, I've said it a million times, they're scaling. Don't worry, we got the late game. I think they still need to contest I still think they need to contest this. They still need to be able to contest Fizz. Because Fizz is 6-0-1. That's so much. That you can't deny that. And the burst damage they've been able to do so far has been insane. Okay. So I'm gonna do a real quick caster hot take. Caster hot take. Here we go. Emerald Circlet was really good at the beginning of season 12, and then they nerfed it only a little bit, and then people forgot it existed for the rest of the season. We're in an AP versus AP matchup. You know, Swain is behind. Emerald Circlet seems like a real good time to give them some magic resist against the Fizz. And then later in the game, that's a Banshee's Veil to protect you against taunt, knock up, stun, knock up again, snares, right? And you're Swain. You want to be walking into this team as well. So, like, just having that little anti-magic shield later on in the game seems great. You know, it's a departure from your current item build path, and it's not exactly ideal for you. But sometimes you got to pay your taxes, and in this case, it's the MR tax. And Emerald Circlet seems really, really good. That's my caster hot take. My caster hot take is everyone forgot Emerald Circlet was an item. Build more Emerald Circlet. My second caster hot take is that 80 carry itemization is fine. It's just now you have to build anti-tank items, and everyone's upset about it. That's my caster hot. Those are my caster hot takes. If you like these caster hot takes, make sure to press that follow button on Style Esports. And make sure to ring that bell as well. You'll be notified whenever we go live with more League of Legends action. And you see today, because we have a lot of Style Esports has players at all levels of play. You want some master tier gameplay? We got that. We got some challenger players. We have a whole bunch of folks here that you can watch and some amazing League of Legends action. So if you haven't already, press that follow button. We really appreciate it. If you're feeling generous, press the subscribe button as well. Helps us out, helps us keep the lights on here at Style Esports and continue to deliver you some great production quality here at Style Esports. We're just waiting on the pause to be finished up in just a little bit here. It looks like one of the players had an emergency, so now we're just waiting on that to be finished up. Here is, yep, we are back in the game. We're back in it. My lords, my ladies, and those who doth lie betwixt. Here we are, back on the Rift, back onto Seminous Rift, and we are back in the game. If you're joining us for the first time, we are 17, nearly 18 minutes into this game here. Oh, we're getting the pause after the pause. Shoutouts to Spectator Bugs. Ornhorn comes across, spoils knocked into the air. Actually pretty low here. Might be able to do something. Cord Gio is coming in from the side. Not going to be able to finish that off for themselves, but the red team is slaying the dragon down at the bottom of the half, so they're going to have to do something against the spoils up in the top lane here as Danzilla. Oh my god, they cannot stop Calmed on this Fizz. They're going to be able to slow him down. He's already dealt a decent chunk of damage. They get the pull onto Nami here. That's a big Swain ultimate. Might be able to do something with this. Calm dives forward there, though, and there's the burst damage. And Swain disappears. Poof. Harry Houdini. Now, Cord Gio here. Finding out Mortified. Or maybe Mortified found out Cord Gio. Who knows? But this mid lane turret is in some trouble here as more kills continue to go onto the red team. It's okay, Sunbird. No one saw it. No one saw it. Don't worry about it. No one saw it. It's okay. It was an execute. Don't worry about it. Turret goes down. Fizz is the one picking up the damage there. As the Rift Herald once again being secured by the red team here, securing the 4th of the first early objectives here on the map. Matthew Cashew flashing forward. This might be bad. They're still in the vicinity here. If he's able to get something off of that, okay, there it is. They're able to finish off the kill onto Shen up in the top half of the map here. And here comes the rest of the team in order to help finish off the Rift Herald as well. So the blue team here going to lose out on the second Rift Herald. They'll probably lose the top lane as well. As Kitsune and Rammus are making their way up into this top lane. Here, Wizard Pill being Wizard Pilled and being away from everyone else. Normally, I would argue that he's up in his Wizard Tower, but he's in the bottom lane. So, he is in Undermountain. For everyone who gets that joke, it's a Wizard Tower, but in reverse. Wizard Pill just not being able to deal with anyone who teleports into his lane. And definitely does not want to deal with any Fizz that comes anywhere soon to him. I think he just wants some time, alone time, but that's going to be really hard when a Swain has teleport and has Stand United as well. So, going to be as much as they'd like here. So, continue to keep our eyes on this game. We're now 20 minutes in, 3,000 in the lead now. The red team is up a whole lot here. So, it should be noted that, the red team, despite all of my praise for the blue team and, just saying, just hold on. Y'all just when you get to level 14, it's going to start being real powerful. But, we're getting to level 14 and we don't see a whole lot of good things for the blue team so far. They have a mid lane who's 2-6, and this was kind of the big reason why the big reason why we saw them pick that is because it gives them an advantage into the Rammus pick here. But now this Swain is so far behind that they really only have the ultimate available to them. Now, Let us see, because now Calmed is really playing around here. Yep, there's going to be the initiation right there. Knocked into the air. The blast cone trying to get them away. The quickness might be able to give them some space. They might finally be able to take down Calmed here, but he's way too slippery. They can't kill the fish, but Wizard Pill still looking for more. Pops the R and is going to be able to get the kill right there. Here comes Ornhorn across the team. Spoils looking for archery here, but he's doing a good job of kiting them away. Danzilla might be able to pick up a kill there. That's going to be big. It's going to pick up a kill onto Rakan on the backside here, but Sunbird goes right into Wizard Pill, but he's on top of Spoils. Requiem comes across. They might be able to finish off this Swain, and Sunbird goes down too. A huge team fight for the blue team is going to even out this gold. 300 is now the only that separates the two. Sadly, they can't get any neutral objectives off of that, but that is a lot of gold. That is a lot of experience for this Ornn here, and he has now passed out his first ornament here. It's going to be Leandri's Lament for Swain in the mid lane there, so this is going to be big, because take a look at this. I said there was no neutral objectives to push onto, but they definitely have some turrets. This is all 3 outers cleared by the blue team from the red. Oh no, Danzilla pops the ultimate there. Might be able to get away from this. Flash for flash. All right, they're not going to be taken down this time. Alrighty. This is pretty big. This is a real big swing for the blue team here. They're now hitting their stride, hitting their big item breakpoints, and hitting these ornaments as well. Very well played team fight there. Caught out a lot of the chaos here. Was able to focus down Calm and pick up a big shutdown for themselves as well. So this is big leading into the second Chemtech Drake of the map here. Archery just has to be careful, because Calmed is definitely on the hunt for these fishing for some good ultimates, if you don't mind the pun. As now, here we go. Yep, that's going to be what they're looking for here. There's going to be get that last bit of damage here. Okay. Oh, yeah, Sunbird here, taken down. That's going to be charmed up, taken down. Danzilla is going to be the one picking up the kill there. So now Calmed is in some trouble. They're looking for a little bit more, trying to hop over the wall here maybe. Dodges around that Swain Q. Not going to be taken down, but they're still looking to get this Drake. Kitsune's in some trouble here, but Fizz is playing the long game. Hiding in that bush right there. So now, I'm just going to do a quick pause on the game. We are 23:30. Yeah. Why is the spectator behind the caster like 15 seconds? Oh, don't worry about it. That's because our spectator's a bot. That's why. It might have been something to do with the pause that we had. All right. So let me just really quickly. Alrighty. So now I do this. And we should be tied up back together here. Yeah, it was probably just an issue with the pause there, just being so long. I don't know what happened on the observer's end, but Mortified here in some trouble. Stand United is going to come across onto Calmed here. They might be able to find some big kills here. Huge taunts. These blue HP bars are just melting as Calmed just dives, just runs rampant across this team right here. Already taken pretty low from that previous team fight, and now from the Dragon as well. 3 kills over to the red team here. Gonna finally swing the gold back into their favor, reclaiming their top spot. But they do have the jungler respawn. Karthus is back in here and does have some decent AoE damage. Let's see if they want to interrupt this. They do have that back. They're going over the wall. They're going to challenge him here. It's Dr. Matthew Cashew comes down. Requiem comes across. Mortified might take a whole bunch of damage, but Sunbird is here to seal the deal. Dr. Matthew Cashew coming over the wall here, but it looks like he might have bitten off just a little bit more than he can chew. Mortified taking real low, but not going to be able to finish them off here. Is Calmed is going to be able to secure another kill. 13-1 and 3 on the Fizz. They're putting themselves on soul point to boot and turned around the game that has swung in the enemy team's favor. Alrighty. Looking at 1.3 thousand gold. Archery finding out the bot lane here, but not wanting to stay on that half of the map anytime soon. So we'll have to see if we get a Baron fight here, because that is definitely where we're seeing a lot of these warding being placed out by the blue team here. Zhonya's Hourglass being picked up by Swain, a really important item as this Fizz continue. Oh my god. Fizz is like my least favorite champion to play against of all time. Of all time. Drenmir sucks. You know, Yorick sucks. Blitzcrank sucks. But Fizz Fizz is just awful. The second you get a good Fizz player, or even just someone even just fine at Fizz, it just becomes the most frustrating game of League of Legends. Troll Pole is just such a bonkers ability that it frightens me that that's what, you know, League of Legends was able to do in Season 2, right? But here we are, Season 13 preseason. And, you know, now we get to see how this Baron is going to, how we're going to see this here as now. Yeah, once again, we're just seeing a little bit of a tough time for the blue team here to really answer a lot of what red team has been putting together here. And it's mostly off the back of just Fizz walking into a team fight. Fizz shows up to a team fight and suddenly they can't like do anything else other than tunnel vision onto the Fizz, and that just gives leeway for the rest of the team to just kind of run rampant through their team here. So blue team, let's see if they're able to answer this Baron call here. Mortified catching them out, diving onto the backside here. Here comes Calmden from there's going to be the Chum of the Waters onto Wizard Pill here, but he pops the ultimate, going to be able to dodge around the damage, but Archery is taken low by that side damage there, but Calmden is taken really low here. Let's see if they're able to finish them off. They can't quite gust to flash forward to follow the Fizz here, but look at Mortified, still incredibly healthy in this fight, finally able to finish them off. That's going to be, Requiem coming down, going to be able to find one. Mortified taken down, but the rest of the team has spent so long trying to take down Mortified, trying to take down Calmed, that they weren't able to finish off a lot of these hills here. It's now Dr. Matthew Cascio. I feel like you're just going to be just kited for days. Oh, no, wait. He's able to get on top of Sunbird here, taken incredibly low, but he's just way too tanky. You can't take him down. He's just walking away. Holy. Dr. Matthew Cashew still able to walk away from this. He's looking at the last bit of HP here. He might be able to live through this. The CC is good. Headbutts forward. Mortified finds the kill and is on a killing spree himself. 3-0 and 10. The unofficial ace for the red team here. And now, here we go. We have the rest of the team. We should note that it does scare them off of Baron for now, which is, you know, going to keep the blue team alive in this game just a little bit longer. Which is importante, because now we have two Leandri's Laments out on the team right here. As this game continues, and we're going to see probably another fight around this Baron pit here in just a little bit. It's a big objective on the map currently, and it's going to be the biggest thing for them here. Once again, to still keep our eyes on this Fizz, who has just drawn so much of Wizard Pill's ire that he's just giving up advantageous ultimate places, ultimate stations in order to just find the kill onto the Fizz so many times, flashing for him every single time he troll pulls away. But now, this is a really good call. They have Baron control, they have vision control, and now there's not a whole lot that the blue team can do here. The teleport is down for Dr. Matthew Cashew, so they're not really able to contest this as well as they'd like here, and they can't even trade neutral objectives down to the bottom half here with the Dragon, and they just are able to snare or just finish off the Baron Nashor here. Now it's going to be a lot harder to deal with now that they're up nearly 5,000 gold and some, or yeah, it's almost 5,000 gold here. Now, Dr. Matthew Cashew, the hero that this game needs. Those ornaments. They start being passed around here. Leviathan is the name of the upgraded heart steel here. Is now the final dragon being spawned here. The final elemental drake for sure. This is going to be something to contest over. Danzilla, oh no. Already has to spend so much in order to not die to Calmed here. And now they're in some trouble because this AD carry is not going to be able to secure in order to fight here. And look at the damage now Sunbird is doing. They have so many threats on this team that not even Dr. Matthew Cashew going in through the back line here. That's going to be Karthus going down as well. They're going to engage close to Karthus here, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much. Kitsune takes a whole lot of damage. Archery and Dr. Matthew Cashew, the only members left on the blue team here, as they're looking to re-engage. That's going to be the troll pole onto the Rakan here, and now with nowhere to go, with no hope left, Dr. Matthew Cashew, no HP either. Double kill for Calmed. $6,000 gold in the lead now. They've got they've got this Chemtech Soul on lock. This is going to be big because now, even if you decide to focus down Calmed and try to turn this game on its head, this is still going to be a very powerful soul for the team now. So now they're going to be able to get that damage as much as their missing health is. This is going to be really, really important for Sunbird, for Calmed, right? You're going to have to, if you're going to try to focus down their damage dealers, you're going to have to fix Force 1, right? You can't split your damage. You have to be able to secure these kills. Otherwise, there's going to be a character who's just running rampant through your team who just gets more and more of these damage heroes. Below 50% health, they get 10% damage. They get 10% damage resist and 10% increased damage. So you're going to have to save your burst damage for Calmed here. Long team fights are not going to be good for you. Is now Spoils looking for Wizard Pill here, one of the lower levels in the game here, having a rough time, but is able to turn it around at least a little bit here as he struggles to get back into a place where he can be a carry threat for his team. As this might be an initiation for the blue team here. They might have found out Calm. There's the quickness plus the W there, but Calm does not taking any damage here. As this is now the re-engage from the red team. They're able to get two. Danzilla is still in the middle of the team. They're able to finish off the kill there onto Calmed. Here comes the Requiem coming across. Flash forward by Wizard Pill, looking for the get into the middle of the fight here. Roarn comes in. There's so much healing by the Swain. He's able to get two for themselves. Spoils looks to re-enter this fight here, but Mortified is fighting Wizard Pill and Matthew Cashew here. I don't think he's got anywhere to go. He's just caught inside this Swain right here. They're not able to find the knockup, but they're still looking for more. They've got the max health damage. I mean, it's only gonna take a matter of time. Man, okay. I mean, I don't know if I have to keep on play-by-play voice. Okay, there's the low HP. There he goes. This is gonna. Here we go. Where's he going? Where is he going? Oh, he might be able to get away. Oh. Mortified? No way. How much HP does this guy have? 25? Oh, there's the stray Q. He's taking some damage from minions. He's at 16. There he goes. There he goes. No way. He lives with 16 HP. 16, 1-6. Holy. You hate to see it. You truly do. As now, poor Gio here, having to fight off Spoils. I mean, this is okay. Karthus, you hate to see him go. But he's going to go down here. Spoils is going to take some damage in return, but that's a really good pick onto the jungler there. Sadly, there's no big neutral objective for the red team to grab here. It's just oh, no, okay. This whole game is just Calmed being like, oh, hey, look who this is. Look who I found. It's like, where's Waldo? But Waldo's the entire team. Calmed. Now in some trouble here. Archery might look for a W off the quickness here, but not able to find it. So going to be able to get away as this is going to be the re-engage by the Rammus here. Gunning onto the backside here. Is able to find the taunt on to Zaya here. Going to be able to give her some space. She doesn't have that ultimate available. She's already peeled all the way backwards out of this fight here. And they really have to keep their eyes on Swain. Wizard Pill pops in and look at that healing he's able to do here. He's able to stay alive in this fight for just a little bit longer. But Spoils is going to be able to find the kill there. Archery now trying to kite out for the rest of the team. Bubble comes out, but it's not going to be able to land on anyone here. Dr. Matthew Cashew dives onto the backside trying to get something to disrupt the enemy team, but not going to be able to get away this time. He does mission failure as now the whole red team is still alive. Danzilla has now re-entered the fight. He is the only member that can really fight this team right now. Spoils dives forward. Look at that burst damage that just immediately annihilated them right there, as that's going to be Chum the Waters plus all the burst damage from Shen as well. Man, I think this is just dire straits now. They're trying so much. Calmed. Troll pulls, dodges the thing there. Is Archery trying to get that last bit of damage on the Kitsune there. Not going to find it this time. Oh, man. This is tough. 25 stacks on the Medjai Soul Stealer. 21, 3, and 6. Calmed on the Fizz. You know, I say all the time, comfort is king. It doesn't matter what the current champion whose OP is. I can tell you for certain, if you are good at a particular champion, that champion, you are going to play that champion a lot better than you will the meta pick. And I think this calmed, like the stars aligned for them here, right? They banned away their Fizz in game 1, and now game 2, they got it into a spectacular matchup, which gave them a huge lead, and now Calmed is a monster, right? They can't stop this guy. That's going to be the ultimate coming down, charm the waters through the wall there, but not going to land onto anyone. This might be the time that they need in order to engage here, and they're going to take it. That's the Swain ultimate into R2 from Ornhorn here, but Wizard Pill's already taken incredibly low. They're trying to keep him alive for as much as possible. It does not have the Sonya's Hourglass available. They're still, the red team is not going down. They're diving onto Sunbird here, but there's still threats on the red team here still to deal with as Danzilla trying to get away from Calmed and Spoils here as Kitsune taken incredibly low. Matthew Cashew onto the backside here. Cordego is going to be able to find that kill there as now Archery goes down to Spoils. Calmed fighting Matthew Cashew 1v1 is going to be able to come out on top, and the only member left to tell the tale, Danzilla, is the only member left. They're making their way over to Baron, and now they're going to be able to secure that for themselves as well. And now, here we are. This is going to be the last... This might just be the last Baron of the map here, as now Elder Drake has spawned on the map as well. This might actually be a real good thing for blue team to pick up. They can sneak it. They can sneak it or win the fight around the pit. I think that's incredibly powerful for them. That Elder Drake buff will definitely be able to eat through a lot of the HP that Chemtech Drake is giving them, or a lot of the stuff that Chemtech Drake is giving them there. So have to keep our eyes peeled, but for the most part, it's just really, really tough. Yeah, I don't think they even have defensive warding even close to the pit right here. As Cord Geo here, Cord Geo still good for something. Now they're starting at the Elder Drake. They have been spotted out. The blue team does have vision inside the pit, at least right now. He's Calmed, finds out Dr. Matthew Cashew, and throws out the Chum the Waters as well, but that's going to be able to get them at least, keep them from being knocked into the air. So that's going to be the Shirelia's battle song. Cord Geo is looking to get into the pit. That's going to be throwing them in immediately. Not going to be able to seal it away, and this is going to be the fight right here. Red team looking to secure some kills here as the quickness comes out from Rakan, but they're not going to be able to secure the kill there, as that's now 2 members of the red team down. Wizard Pill has to run for their life. Dr. Matthew Cashew, Danzilla's already long gone, but Wizard Pill nowhere to go. Going to go golden. Going to be surrounded by 3 members of the red team there. That's going to be the execute damage as well, and Calmed on a rampage. 23, 3, and 9 split. Spoils dashing forward there inside the Shen Dome is gonna go down. Danzilla falls again, and with this Baron buff, with this Elder Drake, game number 2 goes over to RCG. Yeah, an interesting game for sure. You know, maybe I put just a little bit too much faith into the late game scaling. Went into that late game scaling there. Is now, you know, we're looking for we're getting into game 3 here, and this is big because red side does have 100% win rate, and back after Baron does have side choice, and they do know that they have to ban away the Fizz. So that's going to be the big thing here, because it really came. I didn't think it would have come down to draft, and I don't like saying that it comes down to draft, but letting Calmed onto the Fizz seems to be the biggest thing here, because that was like the biggest thing about this game, right? Mortified is number 2 in this game. 3-0 and 19 on that Rammus, absolutely insane, right? As we are getting ready to get into the next game here, it looks like banning Fizz seems to be the best recipe for success for back after Baron in order to secure this game number 3 win for themselves. We're going to take just a quick break though, and when we come back, we're going to be in picks and bans of game number 3. Back after Baron versus RCG Abyssal Nightmare. This is the lower bracket. You don't want to be losing here. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome back to Style Esports, and here we are. Here we are, the final match of tonight's final match point. Here we are. Final game of the night. Final call for both of these teams to stay in the tournament. Or will they fall here? This only one shall stand. Back after Baron staying on the blue side. RCG Abyssal Nightmare staying on the red. We don't have any side change swaps here. The Fizz is banned away. And back after Baron is looking to secure this 2-1, throwing it 2-1 game here for themselves. But I don't think RCG Abyssal Nightmare is going to go down without a fight. So now here we are. If you're joining us for the first time, we are in the lower bracket of the Zaun League here. Both of these teams have one last shot in order to continue on in the tournament and move on later on. So the winner of this game will go on to play the winner of ARR versus Mythic Omega. So we'll have to see how they play this one out. They're still not out of the woods just yet, right? They still have some of the losers bracket to go through in order to make this end of the game here. But here we are, and RCG Abyssal Nightmare said that they loved the front line that they had from the previous game, so they're going to go with Shen Rammus one more time. Top half of the map insta-locked in here, as this is now going to be a repeat performance from game number 2. If you're joining us for the first time here, we are in game number 3 of these two teams duking it out here. Back after Baron secured game number 1, RCG Abyssal Nightmare secured game number 2, and it looks like they're going to try to continue their streak here. Set locked in, a successful champion for back after Baron in game number 1 here. But let's see if they try to run at least something similar to what we saw with the as what we saw before, because you can't really lock in a whole lot of physical damage characters against a Shen, against a Rammus, right? You're going to have to dip into those AP damage there, see a little bit more for yourself, and it's going to be the Poopster. It's going to be the Poopster. It's going to be Poopy. It's going to be Poppy. Locked in for the jungle position for back after Baron, perhaps. We have seen this character kind of float around as well. Relatively flexible. We've seen her in the top lane. We've seen her in the jungle. We've seen her support, right? So still kind of up in the air where this Poppy is going. Set as well. We've seen Set support, top, mid, jungle, literally every role I've seen Set. So we still have some flexibility for back after Baron after the Kaisa lock in here. But Nyla, okay. Nyla is going to be locked in for RCG Abyssal Nightmare, and this is a pretty high skill camp champion here. I do want to see if Sunbird has it in their play history here, or whether it is in Calmed here, because this is a champion that, if you know how to play them, is incredibly potent. Is insanely powerful, has a lot of lifesteal, has a lot of mobility, is pretty hard to stop, blocks ranged attacks pretty easily. So Nyla here could be insanely powerful. This is another one of those champions that could abuse a lot of those Omni-Vamp items that folks have been talking about on social media for Season 13 here. So we'll see how this plays out, because this is going to be a really important pick here, and it could make or break the whole game. So, alrighty. The final bans are here. Seraphine and Vigar banned away one more time, and Nami and LeBlanc banned away from back after Baron here. So RCG Abyssal Nightmare here going to lock in the Rel, as they have the beefiest front line I have seen in a very long time here. Nyla and Rel, insanely potent combo, might I add. Both of them Star Guardians as well. So let's see if we've got the Skinergy for RCG Abyssal Nightmare here. And it'd be really funny if both of them just, if like RCG just forgot that Nyla and Rel both are Star Guardians. They're just like frantically like whipping out their wallets, like, crap, I need to get this stuff. We need to have the matching bot lane. As Maokai locked in for back after Baron here. And man, I don't know if I like it too much, because this team needs damage. And Imperial Mandate Maokai not exactly as strong as you'd like here. So this team needs some AP damage. It needs some solid, needs a solid mage. Like, I think the Swain is still good here. I think the Swain seems like pretty good to lock in, but it's going to be the Cassiopeia hover. Do you want to go for it? And the lock in for back after Baron here. You know, I wasn't like completely unimpressed by the play of Swain in the previous game, but it looks like Cassiopeia, another champion, another mage that wants these really, really long fights, that can do, that wants to go for the Conqueror, is going to be the lock in here. So Cassiopeia, solid lock in here. At least with in regards to the rest of the team, you know, can take advantage of the space that Maokai makes for her. And will provide some additional great CC for how much dive this this Abyssal Nightmare team has. This is insane, like how much initiation they have across their whole team. Across the whole team, there isn't a single person that doesn't want to, as Overwatch players like to put it, press W. You know, there isn't a single character that does not want to press W here, right? So this is really going to be a an interesting time to see how this is going to be played out here, because Kai'Sa is in a bit of a bad position here, right? Her team is built enough around her that if she decides to dive in, she does have enough of short range and melee champions to help her once she's dove in. The problem is RCG Abyssal Nightmare is like, sure, yeah, dive in. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to you. You know, I'm sure it would be a shame if there were someone that could really easily point and click, take advantage of you being in melee range. Wouldn't that be weird? But yeah, Kai'Sa here looking like a pretty vulnerable pick as the first pick here. Obviously, you have to pick the most blind as first pick here, but looks like we're gonna see you know, a lot of punishment onto this Kai'Sa here. I think RCG has recognized that Danzilla is a very, very good player, and countering them means that back after Baron kind of mostly, I don't want to say completely falls apart, but is in a bad place, because Danzilla has been the one dealing the most amount of damage on their team and surviving a lot of these team fights as well, and being really slippery, being hard to take down, and being able to deal their damage really well, and piloting their champions well to boot. So let's see how they try to adapt here. We'll finally see where these particular characters are going. Poppy is going into the jungle, Set is going into the top lane, and Maokai is going to be in the bot lane here. And I think I like this adaptation as well, because Maokai is very good into melee matchups. His Q is very good at disrupting initiations, and then he has lots of good counter engage with that Twisted Advance as well. And not to mention that the saplings do a real good job of bush control to boot. So this is a really, really good matchup for, at least in my opinion, for the Maokai here. But once again, the duo lane power that's Nyla and Rel is just too good. It's just too good. This level 6 is going to be absolutely bonkers, just from how much damage they're able to do. And I want to see if this ends up being the real big healing build that we've been seeing so much on social media. You know, a lot of folks have been talking about how Gore Drinker or Immortal Shield Bow plus Ravenous Hydra and Conqueror, and with excessive shield, excessive healing gives you a shield. Bloodline, Bloodlust, I think it is the one that gives you healing. Like, all these things combined to make an insanely powerful champion that's hard to put down, and those are items that are all, excuse me, these are items that are all good on Nyla here. Like, Nyla is the champion that builds very similarly to Samira, a short range champion, a melee champion even, that loves just healing off of being around everyone in a team fight. So Immortal Shield Bow plus Conqueror plus, you know, every single healing master you can possibly slot into a champion makes for a very annoying champion to kill. So it means that you're going to have to build heal cut on someone, right? It's going to have to be Cassiopeia first, and then maybe Maokai second, because those are the two that are going to be able to spread it around the team most effectively. Even though it really only has to be on Nyla, those two are still the people who are going to be most able to get to Nyla on the backside here. But I think the big thing here is that back after Baron, I'm gonna have to see how boring you're gonna be able to play, right? This is the big question I like answering every single time when the opposing team has a lot of initiation, when they have so many go buttons. How boring are you willing to play? Because if you have to play reactive, that means you have to hold all your cards close to your chest. You know, you have to play patient. You have to be boring because boring is the way that you win the game, right? Saving your cooldowns to counteract and be reactive to your opponent is how you slow them down, is how you bring the fight into your favor. So that's going to be something I'm going to be keeping my eyes on here um, as this game goes on, because, you know, playing boring might just be the pathway to victory for back after Baron here. Really quickly, for RCG Abyssal Nightmare, I feel like I've commented already a whole lot on the synergy that they have in the bot lane, the powerful top lane duo that they have as well, and then the solid initiation they have across the team. We're seeing the Ari lock in for Calmed here. While it's not Fizz, a very similar stylistic champion to Fizz, high mobility, has initiation power, is looking for burst damage, and can carry the game if they run away with the early game. That's going to be something to keep our eyes on the Ari in the mid lane here. Lots of good stuff for RCG Abyssal Nightmare here. So we're going to throw it to just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 3 of Back After Baron versus RCG Abyssal Nightmare. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome to the final match of the final game of our featured match of the evening. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, and welcome to RCG versus the AB. We've got the final match here. We've got RCG back on the red side here, the most winningest side we've had for a long time. We see some repeat performances from some powerful champions they were piloting in the previous game. We have some interesting picks in the bot lane. They did show me the Skinergy, so I'm very happy about that. And the blue team is sporting a pretty interesting comp as well, running back the set that we saw have some success in game number 1. Let's see how this game plays out here, because a lot of question marks on the map here. How is Sunbird going to pilot this Nyla? You know, Kitsune has been playing, if I can recall correctly, I believe this is correct. Yeah, Abyssal Nightmare has been playing Enchanters and Mages all game. How are they going to adapt to now playing a tank here? So a lot of question marks for this game here. Wizard Pill is on the Cassiopeia instead of the Swain this time as well. So let's see how they decide to play around that champion as well. And how boring is the blue team willing to play as we get into these team fights as well, because they're going to have to play the reactive game really, really well. So here we are. Game number 3. Started out, no shenanigans. But we'll start out with archery, just kind of throwing around saplings. Because that's what you do when you're a Maokai. That's all you do. You throw your children. You throw your children into bushes. It's just, oh boy, this place looks like a great place for my kid. Is that's going to be the initiation here? They got the level 2 right here. This might be it right here, but Danzil is going to level up in the middle of this fight here. They might be able to turn around. Sunbird already taking so much damage. Flash is far going to be able to find first blood here. Kitsune now in a whole lot of trouble. That horse is now Pants, and the Pants turns back into a horse. Danzilla not going to be able to follow through on that, but Kitsune at half HP is going to be forced to back away here. Real good turnaround in that bottom lane there. Going to be first blood for the blue team. Up on the top lane here. Matthew Cashew taking a whole bunch of damage from these minions here, but mostly fine. I feel like a lot of these trades that make him go real low, mostly in favor of the set here, just because of how his passive works and how he's able to heal up faster the lower HP he is. So first blood for the blue team here, going to be advantageous for them as they come back, as here comes Wizard Pill into the mid lane, going to be taunted up. There's going to be the charm as well, force the flash as well. They are really trying to put the hurt onto this mid lane here and get calmed, a big advantage. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this mid lane here, because that's where Mortified is going, and that's where these fights are going to be. So bot lane is the win con for the blue team, it seems, and the red team looking to win through the mid lane one more time. Here we go. We have a Dragon Swag in about a minute here. We have a fight around the Rift Scuttler, which is going to be immediately smited away. Not going to be able to compete for that right there. As yeah. Oh no, Wizard Pill. These guys really do not like Wizard Pill. As now he's stuck here. The Aftershock is going to deal some decent damage, but Wizard Pill just needs to keep walking away. Ghost is going to be popped as well. And that's 2 summoner spells pop for Cassiopeia. So once again, I said it before, we're going to have to do it again. We're going to have to keep our eyes on that mid lane. Because that's 2 summoner spells down for Wizard Pill. And Mortified does not like him. There's a whole lot of not liking going on here. Is Kitsune in some trouble? Snared up. But you can't really quite find the damage that they're looking for in order to secure the kill. But they do have a whole lot of poke. That's going to be good enough for them there. Good to see Danzilla having a little bit better of a time in this early game here in this lane. But it is a little bit, I feel like a little bit upsetting that Dr. Matthew Cashew here up on the set is having to go into a matchup against the Shen here. Really not an advantageous matchup for set at all. You know, they both these characters want short, snappy engagements up in the top lane there, and that's important because Shen is going to win these short, snappy engagements every day of the week. You know, it's not like an Ornn matchup where, you know, you can just wait out a decent chunk of the dome with the fire breath. You know, now Dr. Matthew Cashew is in trouble here. Flash is just a little too soon, and that's gonna be the taunt. That's gonna be the damage. Spoils is gonna be the one picking up the kill there as Poppy tries to answer and help out their top laner, but not able to do so. Now, once again, this bot lane for the blue team is their important ticket to winning this game here. The big problem is, you know, we're gonna be later into this game. This Rammus might not be the best item, but Thornmail looking pretty good in this game right here. You know, at least against 2 people that want to sit there and wail on you with auto attacks. Even Poppy, to a degree, is going to be looking at some significant auto attacks. Sometimes we see just the Divine Sunderer being built by the Poppy. So it's going to be easy, something to keep our eyes on for sure, as I continue to say that over and over again. But yeah, once again, bit of a CS lead being formed for kind of both sides of the map here. Mostly Kaisa in the bot lane. Oh, wait a minute. Up on the top lane here, Spoils already taking so much damage. Matthew Cashew is sitting underneath this turret for so insanely long, but that shield is going to be good enough for him in order to keep him alive in this team fight here. Not going to be able to survive. Not going to be able to secure the kill up in the top lane there, but still going to give him something. And something is all he can hope for at this point, because this Shen has been bullying this set up in the top lane here, not giving him any room to breathe, really, as you know, they continue to have this advantage up there, as that's going to be them diving on a Calmed here, looking for something. Morpheus might force the flash over the wall as Archery continues to look for it here, but doesn't have the movement speed in order to get that twisted advance. So Archery going to be forced to back away here. Be able to do so much, but help shove out the wave at least. Does have some friendship stacks to give it a wizard pill, but it doesn't have any mana. Might be into some problems as well, because here comes the rest of the team, going to try to slow them down as best he can, but Mortified is going to be the one picking up the kill there. So here comes Rel in from the bot side here. Archery not able to save their mid laner. Wizard pill goes down one more time, and yeah, this is not looking ideal for that wizard pill in the mid lane. Now this gives a great opportunity for the red team to go and try to secure the first Drake of the map, which is an Infernal Drake. They have Prio mid. They've got some Prio in the bot lane there, but it doesn't look like Kaisa is going to be able to get into that pit anytime soon. So this is going to be a pretty easy pickup unless Poppy gets in there. Pops does not have the ultimate to knock Rammus out of the pit and then go and smite it herself. So this is going to be the first Drake going over. But Cord Geo here is definitely looking to contest. He's coming in. Wizard Pill is coming in as well. Archery looking to contest as well. Mortify below half HP. They've already dunked on him. They've already slammed him down as Kitsune turns that horse into pants with a crash down there. Goes over the wall with a flash, but Cord Geo is looking to follow, and Danzil is going to be the one picking up the kill there. Sunbird just tries to hippity-hoppity away. So the first dragon actually goes over to the blue team here. It's going to be Infernal. The next one's going to be Chemtech, which means we have either Cloud, Mountain, Ocean, or Hextech in play for the Soul. It's Dr. Matthew Cashew here, trying to duel 1v1 against the Shen, but you really can't do it. As now Cord Geo, oh no, so much damage here. Flash forward, one more auto, can't quite land it. Archery is coming up in order to try to help their jungler escape, or maybe even try to collapse onto Ahri here. As now, yep, there it is. There's going to be the charm onto the tree, but not going to be able to land it. But here comes Rammus in for the side. Sunbird dives onto Danzilla here and down to the bot lane. Flashes forward, loads on the top. That's going to be the Nature's Crash coming across. It's going to be the burst damage, at least a little bit on to Rammus here. But Wizard Pill is going to be the one picking up the kill. There's Kitsune now. 1v2 up here. Wizard Pill has to get out of there. He can't kite down this way. Sunbird is coming up. It doesn't have any mana, though, but all they need is the auto attacks. He's trying to kite back, get as much damage as he can here. Try to turn into another 1-for-1, but it's a 1-for-2 at the end of the day. Sunbird picks up that kill there, and that's gigantic, because this lead that Kaisa has is now narrowing. Dr. Matthew Cashew having a bad time up in this top lane is to be expected, especially against a Shen when you are set. So, you know, every time we pan up there, we'll pour one out for our homie who's having an absolute atrocious time up that top lane there. This Cord Geo, man, Calmed, I feel like Calm just does too much damage. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he installed an add-on. Maybe just like he has aim assist on or something. I don't know. I'm not actually accusing, let's be clear, I'm not accusing Calmed of cheating. Calmed is not a cheater. I'm just doing a bit. So let's just get that out of the way before people try to yell at me in the Discord. So I'm not, no, this is a bit. It's a bit. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Calm just does too much damage. Well, and, you know, right as I say, you know, I caster cursed them. You know, that's probably my fault, as he dives right back in one more time. But Wizard Pill is on the ball with a lot of these reactions here, but that's already so much damage here. And Rammus is coming in from the side as well. Going to pop that ultimate, looking for Wizard Pill here. Goes underneath the turret. But yeah, just going to tank up the damage here. Does still have the mana to try to turn something around if Poppy shows up, but you know, that's going to be okay. Big ultimate from Nyla here, looking for something on return. Cord Geo here coming down to Mortified here. That's going to be the hammer coming down, and that's going to be Poppy picking up the kill in the jungle there. And they're going to go with this. They feel like they should just go for scoots. Just pick up a little scoot, little scoot, little scoot. Now, twisted advance Q on a Kitsune here. That's going to be the Nature's Grasp as well. They got Stand United coming down, so they got to be careful. They got to execute these before the Shen comes down here, but I think it got interrupted here. And that's going to be Kitsune now, the target, as Danzilla is already finding the kill on the one. Can they find the next one? Archery is going to be the one picking up the kill there. And now this is a really, really good lead for this bot lane down here. 3-0-1, 100 up 21 CS as well. Kai'Sa looking pretty good right now for Danzilla. We just have to wait for these team fights to happen, because like I said, even though Danzilla's ahead here, Spoils is way far ahead in top lane. Rammus isn't super far behind in the jungle, and these are the biggest champions that are going to give Kai'Sa the biggest run for her money. So that's something to keep our eyes on here, as we're looking to get at least some prio in the mid lane and maybe go over to this Rift Herald. This Poppy has already started it up. Rammus is here to answer. Coming in through onto Wizard Pill here. Pops that ultimate, slows them down. That's going to be the taunt, and the damage is here. They're trying to go around on the calm. They're just ignoring the fact that Mortified doesn't even exist. They might be able to turn around. There's the damage. They're not even going to let Shen teleport into the fight. There's Dr. Matthew Cashew, I think, went up there and did the Facebreaker in order to interrupt the ultimate as well. So well played by the blue team there. Lots of great teamwork. Going to be able to seal the deal down in that mid lane there. Finally giving some breathing room over to the Cassiopeia and giving the prio they need in order to go over to that neutral objective there, as Danzilla trying to hold down the fort in the bot lane here. Across the map, this is a real big time for the blue team, because they have not been winning this early game here, as Spoils now in some trouble. Dr. Matthew Cashew has this early burst damage here, but can he seal the deal? Flash forward, double auto, gonna be able to find it. Dr. Matthew Cashew gonna finally be able to get a kill up in this top lane and get a little bit of breathing room from this Shen. Really well played by them. They use the showstopper in order to get Shen outside the dome, and then turn that around for immediate double auto attack burst damage, which is really, really good in order to help finish off that kill there. I mean, the worst part is that he had to use flash, but at the end of the day, it seems worth, because he's just going to be able to get so many turret plates from this. Like, I think he's getting at least 3. Yeah, here comes the TP. Dr. Matthew Cashew is in some trouble here. Here's the Rammus ultimate. There's the taunt. Spoils is coming in as well. Gonna have to keep running away from this as best he can. He does not have Ghost, doesn't have Flash. That's gonna be the taunt from Shen. And just before it was worth, and now it looks like, oh, he might be able to actually get Mortified here. Mortified taking incredibly low. Taunts and pops the W. Can he get something here? It's so incredibly close, but Spoils is gonna be the one finding the kill there, as this team takes advantage of that jungler being up the top lane, gonna be able to secure the Drake for themselves. And, oh, it's Cloud Drake. Cloud Drake is going to be the Drake for this map here. It's not the end of the world for some of these characters, as some of them would actually prefer it, but still not the best soul to have, as they are popping every ultimate they have down to the bot lane here. That's going to be Nature's Grass coming across as well, but everyone forgot you have to ban the tree, as now Kitsune is in some trouble here. They're going to pop Shelly, and this Rel is in a whole lot of trouble. They're going to keep away from Calmed here, but I think they are going to get the charge. They are going to get the damage. Kitsune, okay, Danzilla there lands the Q, lands the dash, and they're going to be able to land the kill as well. Walk up, Danzilla just does the double auto attack to secure first turret for themselves as well. 303 is going to be the score line for this Kai'Sa here, as we are now up 6.5 thousand gold for Back After Baron. You know what that sound means, Wizard Pill. You're in a whole lot of trouble here. Taunted up. You got the charm. You got the Everfrost. Man, they're just bullying. This is bullying. I declare bully. You can bully a team who's ahead of you. Wizard Pill just does not get a break. He's been playing a lot of immobile mages this whole time, and Rammus just shows up and just like, hey, I know I'm supposed to be countering auto attackers, but you can die too, is Dr. Matthew Cashew. Having some troubles of himself on the top lane here. That's going to be Showstopper, but might have gone a little bit too close to the turret here. Spoils does have some burst damage of his own. Facebreaker, double auto. There's a good shield. Spoils! Oh, gets the kill! Oh, so incredibly close over that top lane there. Still some saving graces around the map is still what's going to keep them in this game here. Finding these good kills onto Wizard Pill, making sure that they can, take advantages where they can, and making sure that they can narrow out this gold lead, because, before it was 5.6, now we're looking at about 4.6, right? This change has come as Core Geo here. Coming on the spoils up on the top lane here is Wizard Pill popping the ghost, looking for Sunbird. Gonna deal a decent chunk of damage here. Flashing again, gonna be able to find that kill there. He's pissed. You've been your team has been bullying me all game, and now here I come. It's my turn to bully. Wizard Pill gets jousted over. Here comes Calmden from the side, but that's the burst damage. The Magnet Storm as well. Kitsune trying to turn this around as best they can and gonna be able to get it. Wizard Pill is just like, look, it was just a joke. I was just messing around. Come on, I didn't think about the whole. I didn't want to actually bully your team. I was just saying that we should, we should hang out. Bully for you. You know what I mean? Haha. Fun. Go down. Archery is now in a whole lot of trouble themselves. Let's see if their bark is stronger than their bite. As now Archery trying to do a little jukesy here, looking for Calmed, might be able to find something, but nope, not this time. They're going to be able to find the CC and find the kill onto the big tree in the mid lane. As now, yeah, we're looking at the mid lane as that's what's going to be the next ire of the red team. But they see Danzilla show up and they're just like, I don't know about this one. Crash down, dives on top of Dr. Matthew Cashew here, trying to get around. Mortified is going to be knocked away from them, as that's going to be Danzilla diving onto Rel. They're going to be able to find that kill. As Sunbird's now in some trouble. Danzilla diving forward. There's a whole lot of damage. That's going to be the lifeline shield popping, but not going to be able to secure the kill right there. Ramdog is also long gone, so they're not going to be able to find that kill there. Is now Calmed. Shows up in the mid lane here. And you got to be careful. There's already the dash forward. Doesn't land the charm, though. Taking a bunch of damage on the way back of that orb there. Danzilla taking incredibly low. That's going to be the Nihil ultimate, healing up a whole lot there. Going to be able to find the shutdown onto them as Spoils comes in from the stand. United Core Geo looks like he wants to get back out of there, but Dr. Matthew Cashew wants a little bit more. Calm still looking for something here, but doesn't have any more charges to that ultimate, so not going to be able to go through here. So they're going to be able to back away. But it ends up being a one for, I believe, a 1-for-1 at the end of the day there, that extended engage. But I still think the blue team comes out on top, as that's going to be them grounded there, rooted up, knocked backwards. There's the taunt, but can you get away? Because here comes the rest of the team here. Wizard Pill trying to go underneath the turret, but they're just too late here. Just going to take that damage and get out of there. The dragon is spawning in about a minute here, so they do have an opportunity to really just spread out wards in this bottom half of the map, clear out red team vision, and prep for this next Drake. Alrighty. The first Cloud Drake of the game is going to be on today. It's going to be up for today here. Up in just a little bit, about 10 seconds for this next Drake here. This is actually a pretty good dragon for the blue squad here. Oh, they're really trying to stop him here. Dr. Matthew Cashew might actually pay with the price with his life here. He's able to not live through the damage of spoils here. Good use of minion blocking there. The taunt gets close, but not the no cigar here. That's going to be them entering the fight here. Good burst damage on the Mortified here. He's below half HP. Good block by the Poppy as well as now Sunbird doing so much damage. Rel is going to be the one securing the kills. There's Danzilla dives onto the backside here. Calm down in some trouble as Cord Geo is coming in. Here's going to the teleport in from Set. They're looking for the damage onto Ari. That's going to be the slow. They're still looking for a little bit more, but can't quite find it. The Everfrost lands on the 2. Can they find it? Dashes forward. The knock up, the stun, the damage. Cord Geo going to be able to find it there, as that's a 3-4-1 in favor of the blue team, and now they're getting the Drake as well. And you know what? I think they should just make their way over to all the way over to the Rift Herald here. I think they got the time in order to do so. But it might be a little bit too late now. So it's going to be fine. Dr. Matthew Cashew just staying a little bit too long, as he per usual. So now here we are. Let's see if we're able to get something here. We do have the Baron spawning here, so no more Rift Herald. So here we are. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. 20 minutes in. 37.6 thousand gold, 5.3 thousand in the lead. It is BAB back after Baron. It's now Dr. Matthew Cashew in some trouble here. Taunted up, stunned. Haymaker to bring him back into the enemy team, just to distract the enemy team for a little bit here. Archery might have stayed just a little bit too long, but it was just a little quick pickup on to Set there. But look at this. No way they go for Baron here. No way they do it. This is such a ballsy play here. This team is rather low, doesn't really take Baron as well as some other teams would, but they're looking for it right here as Archery slows them down, dash over the wall. They're going to be able to find the AD carry, and that's gigantic. The damage dealers are down, but Calm is still taking a whole lot here. Wizard Bill is in the fight here, throws out the stun, but can't quite get into the middle of the team fight because they are pressured just so much here. Corgio's the only member left. Underneath the turret, Kitsune's going to take up some damage, but it's an ace for the red team. All champions eliminated, and now they're making the way to Baron. That's my little fun fact for the day. Ace does stand for all champions eliminated. As now, you know, this is looking like a game that can be turned around here. You know, Dr. Matthew Cashew and just trying to just stem just a little bit of this as they can here, but this is looking really, really good so far. So I'm excited to see the rest of this game because, you know, it looked pretty shut and closed. Danzilla was doing really, really well. They were able to get some choice kills. Oh my god, there's no way Archery comes in here and gets these kills, right? There's no way. That was an objective bounty? Oh, that's huge. Okay, here we go. Showstar onto the back half here. They're going to be able to find the kill on the Rammus here. These Baron buffs are not going to live very long here, as now they're looking for spoils here. Danzilla not going to be able to find them. They're going to have to launch some rockets in order to press that R button in order to get on top of them here. Dash away, Sunbird. Still trying to get away from the enemy team here as Archery continues the hunt. There's going to be the exhaust, but I don't think you want to exhaust that one. That's going to be Stand United coming across here as Wizard Pill still in this fight. Let's look at Corgio where they are here. They're going to stop the Stand United here, but Spoils is still incredibly low, but not taken down just yet. Poppy's going to be able to find the shutdown there as Calm has already taken a decent chunk of damage. Puts the charm onto the tree, going to be able to find the damage. Here comes Corgio in from the side. Wizard Pill now forced to flash away, trying to get away from this fight as best as can. Grounds the team as much as they can. Pops the ultimate from the Nyla, not going to be able to find the kill there as Corgio's going to be able to find the kill on the Calm. And take a look at the mid lane though. For as long as they've been here trying to stop the fight or keep themselves alive, flash forward, Sunbird going to be able to find that. They've taken turrets, and now Danzilla trying to get away from Mortified and them Kitsune here, but Kitsune is now, you're not trapped in there with Danzilla. Danzilla is trapped in here with you, and now they're going to go down here, and this is big. This is huge. Baron is now eliminated from all members of the red team here, and now they get to shove in on these turrets here basically for free. This is huge. They were able to get an inner turret, they were able to get an inhibitor turret, and now they have a teleport coming in from Shen. I don't know if he'll be able to answer 3 members of the blue team. So now, we take stock of where we're at. 4 minutes after the last time we spoke together, after we had this little chat, we're now looking at 25-17 in terms of kills, 4,000 gold in the lead. The blue team back after Baron is now prepping for their soul point here, for their Dragon Soul, for Cloud Soul, which I didn't really get to elaborate on, but it's actually relatively good for their team. Cassiopeia, her channel time on her ultimate is very low and wants to have high mobility, so gaining that movement speed after pressing the ultimate, very good. And it's good for Kaisa, it's good for Maokai, it's good for Poppy, right? Poppy can channel and move at the same time. So these are some big ultimates that can give them if popped, giving them movement speed is going to be important for them, as that's going to be charmed up, taunted, knocked up, Archery forced to flash away here. Part of their front line is gone, and that's a big Nyla ultimate going to pull them back in here. Here comes Set, Wizard Pill on the backside here, going to stun up, but they don't have the damage to follow through here as Kaisa has already been eliminated. The only member left is Corgio here, but he can't fight 1v5. He's tanky, but not that tanky. Going to turn into a 1v3. Maybe he can turn something around. It goes over the wall and Calmed here, throws out that steadfast presence, trying to get that damage on the Calm. Not going to be able to find it as Corgio tries to get away, but he's going to be chased down by the Rammus here. They go down, and now, let's see, Corgio does not have that smite available. He's just going to hop over his own wall. He's not going to look for the steal this time. But yeah, that's a big win for the red team here. This game just keeps going back and forth. Oh. This is a close one. This is a close one, folks. The burst damage that they're able to find sometimes onto these champions is insanely good. I do actually want to check if Sunbird is going the full healing build. Okay. They're almost doing. They have Triumph instead of the excess healing, and then they got healing out of the the red tree instead of the green one. Usually I've been seeing a lot of folks going into the green tree for Revitalize and Second Wind. Just once again for just more healing. And then instead of having the excess healing, they makes a shield. They have Triumph, which is also fine, but you know, I think the big reason of why this build is so strong is because you just get so many shields. Because now spoils. The tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Oh. All right, here we go. Ram Dog up in the top lane with his team, showing up. Blue team kind of maneuvering around here. We have Baron spawning up in about a minute. There's not really any big objectives to go for, and not really any easy objectives for the blue team to follow up on. As Cord Geo, you just walk past Mortified? Did you even see if that guy existed here? Cord Geo tries to get behind here. This is gonna be the Rammus initiation here. And here comes the Twisted, or the Nature's Grasp from the backside here. They're looking, Wizard Pill has already done so much damage to Rammus here. He's forced to back away. That's going to be Danzilla diving forward. Exhausted underneath turret, forced to flash away. So the rest of the team dives on top and going to be able to find that. Wizard Pill is now going to be the only carry left on the game in the top lane here. As now Calm has already done so much damage here. Cord Geo is now going to be forced to fight Sunbird, but he has so much healing. Not going to be forced to flash over the wall here. Set is nowhere nearby. This is a 2v2 right now. This is Poppy Ultimate coming across, going to be able to dodge it real well. And now Set walking back into the back lane, bot lane here. I don't think you can catch up to this Poppy. This Poppy's too fast. Are you really? Oh my god. All right, we got some BM. We got some BM coming out from Poppy here. Always love a little bit of banter. But I don't know if you should BM after losing a team fight like that. Not gonna lie, because that one wasn't so great. It was 3 for 2 in favor of your opponents. Your AD carry was just a little bit too greedy with trying to secure that kill there, and just gave themselves an opportunity for the enemy team to just completely annihilate them there. So we'll see how the rest of this game plays out, because this game is a lot more even than we thought it was, and now that gold lead that was 4,000 before is now only 1.4 thousand, and that's a lot more even, and that's a lot easier to come back from, and that's a lot easier to swing in your favor. So now Baron is now on the menu. Baron's back on the menu, boys. Is now is it going to be make or break time here? Heaven Shroud is the item for Maokai this time, not Imperial Mandate. As they might have found out Sunbird here. Oh man, that's so much damage already. The Magnet Storm comes down, and that's going to immediately be this shield onto Sunbird here. They have to cleave through so much in order to try it again. They still haven't taken them down. A Set finally gets the kill. There's Kitsune on the backside here. Going to go down to Kaisa there. Spoil's trying to 1v3, and this is 2v2 on the top side here. This fight is way too split in order for them to find anything here. Calm now, the remaining member here, grounded up, uses that last dodge there as they're not slammed into the wall, and that's going to be 5-4-1. All champions eliminated once more. The blue team now going down the mid lane. They do have a wave for themselves right here. Are they looking to end the game? I don't think they can. These Death Tamers are still pretty long. They're gonna have to be pretty quick here if they want to try to end it. It all comes down to this here. They might be able to do it. They have a wave coming in right here. They only have 2 ranged minions. They're gonna have to sit here for a little bit and tank up this turret. Okay, here we go. They're looking to end the game right here. Cord Geo tanking up as much as he can. That's 1 turret down. The respawns are coming through. Poppy Ultimate comes across, not going to knock them back into this, the Summoner's platform here, but they're not able to get the space they need in order to get onto the final Nexus turret. So they'll take one, back their way out, and yeah, this is I admire the gumption, but I think the call might have not been that one, because look at this. These HP bars are now half, and they're going to have to get away. And now going to have to fight around this Baron, or this Dragon rather, for Soul Point, or for Soul rather, and they're all at half HP. They're going to have to concede this. Either concede it or go all the way to Baron. And force the enemy team to split up. Alrighty, here we go. It looks like it's forced the enemy team to split and give up this Cloud Drake. Because now they're getting onto the Baron here. And they're going to have a teleport into this fight here. Rel is on that side, which means they can stand united on to Kitsune if they need to. But this Baron is already at a half HP. They need to mosey their way on over. Crash down into the middle. Magnet Storm comes in. Calmed is on the side there, but can't quite get it to the pit just yet. Then Stand United is coming across. They're in there, but that's a big Poppy ultimate. Going to knock them away. Is now Mortified in the middle of the team fight here. Going to be taken incredibly low. Corgio's going to go down. Matthew Cashew is going to be able to get away. And the rest of the team just runs for their life as they do what they always do. They back after Baron. Ari is on the hunt, looking for the blue team. Can't quite find them, so going to settle for the blue buff, which close enough, but it's not exactly the same. So it looks like they're just going to be able to pick that up. Back away here. Dead Man's Plate to be picked up from Maokai here. Definitely like that, especially with all the movement speed that they've got. So they lose 2 Baron buffs here. That's important to note, but there's still Baron buffs on Cassiopeia, on Kaisa, and on Maokai as well. So, here we are. This is where we're going to see these next big pushes here. We might see some pushes down to this bottom lane here because they don't need to push in that mid lane. We're going to see definitely some split pushes here as we need to clear out these remaining inhibitors and give ourselves the best chance in order to kill that last Nexus turret and the Nexus as well. Right, Corgio coming into the enemy jungle here, going to be able to secure that blue buff for themselves. I think so. It looks like it went over to Calmed, but I think Calmed picked up the other blue buff. So it's going to be going over to the Poopster here, as they really just need to sit here and just protect this this cannon minion. As up in the top lane, Dr. Matthew Cashew not going to be able to fight Spoils really well because he does have a lot of armor. Matthew Cashew, I think, realizes this, is now taunted up. He's taken so much damage already. Red turret does go down to the bottom half here, but Matthew Cashew still in some trouble here. Flash followed into the pit, taken incredibly low. There's the taunt. There's the burst. There's the showstopper to maybe live for a little bit longer, but he's going to go down, which means that this is now a man advantage for the red team as they are now going into the fight. Here comes the engage, though. Crash down. They've got the spin as well. Can they keep this away from the rest of the team? Calm dives into the backside here, but he charms up the tree. They're going to be able to find the kill on the Mortified. Here's the front line. Goes down. Sunbird now diving onto them near Corgio, still able to do some decent chunks of damage, but this blue team is falling apart. Sunbird trying to get this last bit of damage, flashes away. Corgio going to be able to get away from this. They're going to be able to find an inhibitor turret for themselves. Corgio might have gone back in a little too soon, but it looks like they're finally gone. They now need to immediately peel backwards and get towards this Nexus turret because look at the amount of damage it's already taken. They have super minions pushing in from the mid wave. Let's see what they're able to do here. This is going to be a really awkward game to try to win at this stage. It's still winnable. Let's be clear. I'm not saying it's not winnable, but it is awkward. They need to keep their eyes on their own base because these Nexus turrets don't heal up to full. They do heal, right? But they have breakpoints at every 1/3, right? So this should be healing up to 2/3 HP currently. Yeah, it does heal pretty quickly. That's what we're going to keep our eyes on. The other thing we're going to keep our eyes on is that we have once again, Dragon Soul is up in a minute here. And the blue team finally has some favorable respawns for themselves here, which means we'll finally be able to see some contention for this dragon here. I think the biggest thing to do here is just to secure it so that Elder Drake can be put onto the rift if we want this game to keep going later and later. You know, I'm going to need an alternate win con if Baron is not going to do it. Right, and Elder Drake just might be that, right? And once again, I think the team does a good job of utilizing the Cloud Drake Soul. So it's going to be something to keep our eyes on. But Archery is here by themselves, basically. So the rest of the team, not to be seen. Benzilla here. Doing some damage onto Spoils. That's not nothing. That's a whole lot of damage right there. I don't know if I like the Wit's End. I think the LDR is good. I don't know if I like Wit's End and Ginsu's Rage Blade. Like, there's too much attack speed for a team that's building, you know, Thornmail on Rammus, right? There's so much armor, you know. At what point do you just, you know, build, like, I don't know. I don't know what other tank buster items you can build. Like, maybe there's an argument for a Black Cleaver, but here we go. Danzilla here getting caught out. That's going to be Ramus diving onto the backside here. Danzilla taking incredibly low, going to dash forward onto the other side of the team fight here. That's exactly where they need to be because they found one already. They're taken low, knocked into the air by Kitsune as they get to the other side again. Thanks to a flash, they're able to live. They don't even care about the Drake anymore. They're going right into the base. That's going to be set, teleporting right into the mid there. He's going to be slamming on this inhibitor. The rest of the team is coming in as well. Here comes Ramdog. He's looking for it. Going to facebreaker, force out the flash, and now it's 2v4 as they run into the Nexus. Kitsune now looking to dive on a Danzilla here. There's going to be the crash down. That horse is now pants, and now they're being bursted down. Rel's got nowhere to go, and the only reality is death. And now the only reality is going to be you being sent home from the finals. No more. RCG goes down. They are knocked out of the Zaun bracket, and back after Baron moves on forward in the tournament. Holy. That was a real close one. That was a real close one for sure. It was back and forth. It wasn't quite sure who was going to win at the end of it. It was a back and forth match for sure. Like, that was insanely close. Either team could have won that. Right? It came down to to very close picks in that final bit there. And man. Whoop. Where are we? Okay. Do I have are the scores the way that they're supposed to be? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was an insanely close match. It's hard to say like where one team fell. I think that like maybe in that last team fight, RCG Abyssal Nightmare just spent too many resources tunnel visioning onto the Kaisa, and she just had every tool ready to go in order to get away from them. And I think that was the biggest thing. Danzilla in that last fight was focused down, right? They weren't able to secure the kill, and Kaisa was able to use her ultimate plus her flash plus cleanse in order to get away from all of these champions, right? That was the biggest thing, right? Being able to lock down a Kaisa while you have a team like that is pretty easy to do, right? But everyone has to be committed to that plan. And it didn't seem like RCG was all committed to that plan, or even if they could, right? Because like I feel like Poppy just kind of is man, such a good champion. And I feel like the more mobility abilities that they put into this game, Poppy is just going to be better and better because Steadfast Presence is so insanely good at stopping the entire rest of the team from being able to follow Mortified in that dive. And because of that, Kitsune is now forced to use Magnet Storm just a little earlier. Nyla is forced to use the ultimate a little earlier. They're not able to use it on Kaisa. She times her ultimate really well in order to get away from Rammus in order to not die and then to finish and seal the deal. That was the biggest thing about that last team fight there. Really, really good. Oh, did I? Why is it? Okay, I did mess this up. Look, you have to please keep in mind that this is that I do this via a bot. There isn't a person who's changing the score. I mean, technically I'm changing the score, but it's all done through button presses, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, this is looking this is a real close match. I really like the way that was ended. And hats off to RCG Abyssal Nightmare here, you know. I think that this was like a real close match, and that if you're looking to play in season 14, that this is still just a real good match to kind of watch and be like, okay, you know, we can take a lot back from this because, you know, it was real close. You know, I think that's something that's true, that close matches are better to look at for improvement than ones that are stops. So for sure, I think that I think just keeping that in mind as we go forward. Real good job by RCG. But back after Baron is going to be our winner for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We go live nearly every single day with League of Legends action for you to watch, and you don't want to miss it. Press that bell to be notified when we go live as well. If you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and it helps us keep the lights on here at Style Esports. But from everyone from everyone here at Style Esports crew, the entire live broadcast crew, the admins, the moderators, everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. And we'll see you at the next match. Bye-bye.